record. What's up, Fight Fam, and welcome to Boxing Bros. I'm Caden. I'm here with my co-host and my boxing cousin. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
What's going on? This is Trill.
This is G.
You know what it is. It's the boxing cousin. You know what I mean? Y'all call me. I got to come through. You hit my line. It's 1-800-COMPLEX. What's up?
All right. Ned is, we banned Ned for getting us negative reviews in the Philippines. So Ned is, no, so Ned's busy tonight. What's up, Ned? All right, we're going to start this one off with just some questions, just to see what's going on. Like, so if you were a professional fighter and you could fight in any arena in the world, where would you want to fight? I'm going to start this one off with G. Where would you want to fight? Any arena in the world.
Any arena in the world is going to have to be TD Garden. You know what I mean? Reason why I got put on for my city, so. Real. I got to put the bean on my back. You know what I mean? So let them know that we got bangers over here.
All right, true.
I was going to say the same thing. You got to rep the home, but you already. But if I says G took that one, I'm gonna say I'm gonna do Wembley. You know what I'm saying?
Set down Wembley.
If you already know what it is. I want to see. I'm gonna bring the people out. I'm gonna bring the people out. You know what I'm saying? Sure, I'm trying to get some money.
Complex.
If it's got to be one arena, my favorite fight ever was the Rumble in the Jungle. So I got to do it in arena in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, or a big stadium in Africa. It's got to be lit. Rumble in Africa. I got to do something like that. Shout out to Muhammad Ali.
All right. For me, it's very simple. MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's why I would want to do it. I feel like that's where the big fights are held.
Vegas.
Wembley would be nice, though. I will consider Wembley.
Nobody said Madison Square Garden, which I was gonna say, but the mecca of boxing is MSG.
That is true, but who cares?
I mean, it was.
I put on for my city.
It was the mecca of boxing.
What, until Joshua lost there?
Hey man,
shots fired early.
Soon as Joshua lost there, all the UK people were like, man, forget New York. We don't even like New York.
Hey, man. All right, so what song would you come out to, and what outfit would you wear for the biggest fight of your life? Trill.
If it's the biggest moment, if it's the biggest moment of my life?
Yeah, it's the biggest fight of your life. What song and what outfit would you wear?
If it's the biggest moment of my life, and I've been waiting for this moment all my life, you know what I'm saying? You already know what I'm coming for. You already know what I'm coming for. Because I can feel it. I can feel it in the air. You know what I'm saying? I have to come out to Phil Collins. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I've been waiting for this moment all my life. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so what would you wear?
You know I get fly. You know what I'm saying? You know I get fly. So, you know, I'm probably going to have something made, but I'm definitely going to have some tassels. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely going to have some tassels. But I'm going to be fly. I'm going to probably have some, I don't know. I'm conflicted. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if I want to do the fur with the Gucci or the fur with the Louis. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do something crazy. You know, I'm gonna get fly for the event.
So you're gonna come out like Devin Haney, basically.
You know what I'm saying? But with some tassels.
All right, Complex. What song and what would you wear?
I mean, if I'm ready for the biggest fight, I need something that's gonna be amper, hyper. And for me, that song that does that is the Made You Look remix, Nas featuring Ludacris and Jadakiss. I love that song, dog. I love that song.
Okay.
Anyways, that shit gets me amped. And when I'm coming out, I'm doing the old school Tyson, cut a hole in a towel, and let's just get down to business. You know what I mean? I'm ready for war. I'm not ready trying to look pretty. I don't care. Let's just get to this.
You ain't wearing nothing that weighs 40 pounds and over.
Only if it's Black History Month. That should look fly, though. That should look fly.
Yeah, it looked like Mega Man. You know what I'm saying?
He did, Doug. But everybody talks
like
shit
a Mega Man outfit. It's
bro,
cool.
when Wilder walked out, you should have seen him. I was amped, dog. I was like, yes, Black History Month. He had the the TVs, all the the music, bro. He looked good. He didn't look good in the ring, but before the ring, he looked crazy. He looked
Listen,
dope.
man, I was thinking, why are you doing this to black people? Because I knew he was going to lose.
Shit.
That man had to lose during Black History Month, dog. Damn. He ended up becoming a trivia question. He ended up becoming a trivia.
What song and what would you wear?
All right. So the song, it'll have to be CNN Bang Bang. And I can't recite the lyrics, but Nori's intro, all the big boys, you understand why I would play that song. So now,
Nori.
You know what I mean? So, but I'll say this though. Now, if I was a professional fighter, I'm assuming I'm in top-notch shape, like a 6, 7, 8-month training camp, right? So you know what I'll be wearing? I start off with my sneakers. I put on some A-Dogs, you know, since I'm being a garden. But what I'm gonna wear, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm wearing me a Speedo, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why,
I'm trying to keep a straight face.
Straight up, y'all listen, man. Listen, y'all gotta understand. I don't remember the last time I had a 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? So if I had me a 6-pack, I'm stunting, bro. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So we going out with a Speedo, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Hey, handcuff your girl.
You better win that fight, bro. Come on, a Speedo. You better win that fight.
You know what? He come out of Speedo, I'm leaving that fight. I could have been on the floor.
No, I'm joking.
He come out of Speedo, I'm leaving that fight.
I'm just.
You're going to have the chop shop collie on. The chop shop collie.
No, I'm joking, man. I don't know what I'll be wearing, but you know what I mean? It'll probably be all black, though. It probably wouldn't be like Mike Tyson, though, because he be having them hot waters. So I don't know. But it'd be definitely all black.
All right, so for me, I feel like one thing the UK has taught me is I want my fights to be a sing-along. I want something where everybody in the crowd is just singing along. So when I was younger and I was training, I was like, man, I'm going to go pro. I would listen to like DMX, the intro to It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and be like, yo, I come out to this right here. But me, the older, more mature D, I'm thinking I'll come out to Savage Garden, Truly, Madly, Deeply. and just have the crowd singing. I come out to Edwin McCain, I'll Be. and let the crowd sing while Walter Rain look at Complex.
I'm mad confused.
A sing along. The crowd will be singing along.
The UK, man.
When I'm walking to the ring, man.
Yeah,
the crowd will be singing. It will be a spectacle. It will be an event. But I'll settle on this song because I feel like a lot of people who I would want to connect to would know this song. It'll be dope, and I can get the sing along out of it. It'll be Bobby Brown, Every Little Step I Take. So that would be what I'd settle on. And what would I wear? I wear a robe, obviously. I always wanted a dope robe. To me, there's nothing like coming out in like the classic robe like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I like the way Fury comes out in the robe. Joshua comes out in the robe. I like that.
Klitschko's
when I take off
Klitschko's robe was
Klitschko's
legit.
were fire. Like
Klitschko, he looked legit.
Yeah, Klitschko too.
Like
Klitschko had some serious robe.
Type. Yeah.
Come out with a robe like that. But when I take off the robe, I'm gonna have on something like Hector Camacho. Straight like that. Hector Camacho, baby.
Camacho.
All right, so if you found a pair of boxing gloves that gave you the ability, these were magic gloves, they gave you the ability to beat any fighter in the world for one fight. You can beat any fighter in the world with these gloves. Who would you fight? Complex.
I know everybody's expecting me to say somebody like Tyson Fury or like Anthony Joshua, but to be clear, I don't need gloves to whip their butts. So let's put that right. But if I needed to, if there's somebody I wanted to fight, I'd fight Paulie Malignaggi because he talks a lot of trash, and I got a lot of things I want to say to that man. So put me in the ring with him, give me them magic gloves, and I'm whipping him.
Oh,
so just to be clear, you don't need the gloves for Joshua.
I was thinking the same
you don't need the gloves for Fury, but you need them for Paulie.
Those guys are dossers.
For Pillow Fist Paulie, gotcha.
Those guys are dossers.
All right. G?
All right. So it was a toss-up between two names. So I'm going to say the runner-up first was Billy Joe Saunders. Reason why is because this dude just finds ways to cheat, constantly cheating, you know? And then, so I was like, all right, man, I don't like this dude because he's a cheater. And the fact that he was promoting hitting on women. So I was like, he got to go. But to be honest with you, the ultra cheat, the cheat of cheats is going to go to Jarrell Big Pharma Miller. I'm definitely going to need the magic gloves because I don't know. This dude, he takes punches. So, you know what I mean? Hey,
you know what kind of jet fuel he shot up his ass?
Huh?
So you know what kind of jet fuel he shot up his ass?
That's what I'm saying. So I already know, man, you might have to hit this dude with like a baseball bat for him to go down. So
yo, wait, so this is going to be the battle of the big boys.
Hey, man, listen, ain't going to be no battle if I got the magic gloves. You know what I'm saying? If go my way, homie's down, son. Man down.
All right. Trill, magic gloves.
Magic gloves.
You can beat any fighter in the world. Who you fighting?
I hope this magic gloves came with a time machine, because I would want to go back in time. You know what I'm saying? I want to put my paws on 3 people. I can't just pick one. I want to put my paws on 3 people. You know what I'm saying? That broke my heart. De La Hoya, one of them. I'm gonna put my paws on De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? For the Vargas fight. You know? And I want to put my paws on Hagler for revenge on the Hearns fight. And you know, Antonio Margarito. I gotta get Antonio Margarito back for that Cotto. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't right.
So here's the deal: you can only use the gloves for one fight.
Yo, these are
true. I can't fight them at one time with the magic gloves.
Yo, this is that UK tournament that what's his name, Harrison fought in. Wait, 4-3 rounders. That was an oddly Harrison 4-3 rounders. That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, but if I had to pick one, it would definitely be Antonio Margarito, because you know what I'm saying. Him. I don't even have to talk about it. Everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? And I would definitely want to get some get back for Cotto.
So I was thinking about it. I got a pair of these gloves. I could fight Tyson Fury, and I'm guaranteed to win because of these gloves. And then I would have beaten the undefeated Lenio, WBC, and Ring Magazine champion. Or I could fight Anthony Joshua and get 4 belts and all the money and all the fame and accolades that come with being Anthony Joshua. Now, I can only win one fight with the gloves. So if I beat Fury, there's going to be a rematch, and then I'm going to get my behind whooped in the rematch. So, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to fight Anthony Joshua, get the money, get the belts, and retire undefeated. That's what I would do with a magic pair of gloves for one fight. All right, so moving into what we're going to discuss today, Mike Tyson versus Shannon Briggs in the bare knuckle fighting championships. It's been said that they offered Mike Tyson $20 million to fight, and the potential opponent is Shannon Briggs. G, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna be honest. As much as I would love to see Shannon Cannon fight Mike Tyson in the ring, I'm not too comfortable with this bare knuckle thing. And the reason why is I seen Tyson in an interview with T.I., and it was like, I think it was like last week, actually. It was like right after that video was released of him training. And Tyson was talking about his training. He was like, man, I ain't gonna front. I just started hitting the mitts, and I'm sore everywhere. It felt like 3 people jumped me. I was like, from hitting the mitts, bro? I was like, that alone got me a little nervous, man. So, because, you know, every time I see Shannon Cannon, he's always in the gym, always training, always working out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he still got a 6-pack. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think like Shannon's bred for this. So
let's go, Chip.
And when you look in his hands, like them knuckles look mutated. Like he got knuckles on top of knuckles. So in a bare knuckle fight, I don't know, man. Like, yo, my money's on Shannon. So, and this is no disrespect, man. I love Mike, but I don't think he should do it to himself. Not right now, anyways. Like, and I would have probably said it would have been 50-50 before that T.I. interview. But after that T.I. interview, I was like, yo, and he was smoking. I think he was smoking a Black and Mild. I can't remember, but he was smoking something.
He was smoking a blunt. He was smoking a blunt. Him and T.I.
So I'm like, I don't know how serious he is about this training, but I think Shannon's real serious. So I don't know, man.
He was healing. He was using it as a healer.
Unless Shannon goes, yo, I'm gonna look out for Brownsville and go easy on Iron Mike. That's the only way I could see like it being safe for Mike Tyson. But other than that, I feel like at that age, I don't even know if he could absorb punches like that. So I have to say Shannon the King.
All right, Complex.
You know when they say like you shouldn't meet your heroes because you might get let down. I don't think we should see this fight because I think we're gonna get let down. Okay. I think it sounds good on paper. Yeah, Tyson looked good when he was hitting the mitts, but first off, 20 million is too short. You got to start at 40 million. Don't disrespect Mike. All right, he's worth a lot. The whole world went crazy after seeing that video. But then even when you get to the actual fight, first off, it's bare knuckle. I don't know if you guys have seen these bare knuckle fights, but they're messy, bloody. It's real bad. Guys get cut off.
I saw Paulie get bust up. You should have liked that. You look like you.
Yeah, Paulie, man, Paulie lost to an MMA fighter, an average, not even average MMA fighter, a bad one. So don't get me started on Paulie. You're right. I wasted the gloves on Paulie. But anyways,
realize that now. You got no money and you
I got the satisfaction. But no, in terms of Mike and Shannon, you know, I don't know. Even Shannon, I don't really want to see him do that because honestly, Shannon's taken a lot of in recent years. I love him. Let's go, champ. He's taken a lot of bum fights. He's fought some like whatever dudes. But I don't want to see Shannon against a real contender. I don't want to see Shannon against a guy who's going to put up a fight. These guys are older. You've already done your thing. You know, people forget Mike Tyson's last two fights looked horrendous. And this is when he was like 38. The man's 53 now. I don't want to see a 53-year-old Mike Tyson knocked out. That's not good for my soul. So for me, you know, I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. I think I'm going to pass on it. I mean, look, if they put it on, I'm probably going to watch. I'm not going to lie. But in reality, I would like them to pass. I would like them to make the money another kind of way. Enjoy your work. You know, you guys have fought years ago. Leave it to the young cats for now.
All right, true.
Hold on. You say answer the question though. Who you got though? If they did fight,
I got Shannon just because Shannon been roiding for years. Like, I love Shannon. Let's go, champ.
That's the beach, champ.
Yeah.
Let's go, champ.
Yeah.
Let's go, champ. You know, chill, champ. Hey, chill, champ, chill.
Look at him, y'all.
Shannon's been, you know, playing around for a long time. He's in good shape. Let me not take away from him. He does work really hard, but at the same time, he also is supplemented. I don't think Tyson has been up to that yet. So I really don't like the chances. And Tyson's older. He's 53. I think Shannon's still 48. He's under 50. So he's got him a little bit on the age. I think he's got him on height, reach, all that stuff. We're talking breaking down the fight. So I don't like the idea.
Shannon goes to Whole Foods, man. Watch your mouth talking about Shannon. He just goes to Whole Foods. That's all Whole Foods and good eating.
Clean eating.
Clean eating for
Living
Shannon.
clean and loving Jesus.
All organic. It's all organic. You know?
True.
I don't like it. I don't like the fight. The bare knuckle fight thing, I don't like it. They want to do a 4-round exhibition in the ring. Why not? You know what I'm saying? I think Tyson will fare well. Shannon's cool. Shannon's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? This is Iron Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give him, you know what I'm saying, the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? And I seen the same interview that G seen when he was talking about doing the mitts and how he was sore, but he also was talking about how he gets up and he runs and then he hits the mitts. He runs and does a lot of other things and then he hits the mitts and then he be feeling sore. You know what I'm saying? And he was sitting back and he was relaxing. I seen that. But I don't want to see either one of these guys go into some bare knuckle backyard brawl like there's some caged animals. They don't, not these two guys, not these guys. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not Mike Tyson. He's a legend. They're too classy. It's not exhibition, I'm all for that inside the ring, but not this bare knuckle brawl bull crap.
It's the money, man. They
can make that same money. They can make that same money in the square circle. They can make some decent money in the square circle. You promote that right, you know what I'm saying, and put some other people.
I agree,
on
they
that
can
card.
make decent, but can they make 20? So just to put it in perspective, 20 million is more than Wilder got paid, more than Tyson Fury got paid.
This is Mike Tyson.
For what fight?
To fight each other in both fights.
No, they got closer to 30.
No, they didn't, bro.
Yeah, we're not gonna do this, fellas. Let's talk about bro. We're not gonna do this.
I'm not dealing with your Bloomberg articles right now. That fight didn't even break even, bro.
Fake news. Yeah,
that fight didn't even break even, bro.
Yeah, but their guaranteed purse was $28 million.
The guaranteed purse was $4 million, bro.
Listen, I don't think Shannon should get
G2.
I don't think Shannon and Cannon should get the 20 million. I think Mike should get the lion's share.
Big fan.
This is Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, who really is Shannon and Cannon? Besides, let's go, Chip. You know what I'm saying? People more know him for his stuff that he's been doing outside the ring now than his activities inside the ring. Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson, I feel, to me, should get the lion's share if any negotiation of anything. But I think that, you know what I'm saying, they promote it right, put some other people on that card, make a spectacle of it, make it an event. You know what I'm saying? Plus throw something towards charity like he was talking about doing. Like in the interview with T.I., he was like, you know, for the homeless or something like that. You know what I mean? Kick some money to them. I think it could be a beautiful thing. And the reaction from everybody from seeing Mike just do that, I think it can be, you know what I'm saying? Social media, kids now, younger kids, they looking at old Iron Mike Tyson films and getting impressed. That thing went viral. That kids are making memes and stuff out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it crossed over to the younger audience, and that it could do something big. You promote it right.
Now, I agree they can make some money in boxing. I just don't know if when you factor in 4 rounds at 20 million, because you factor in the rounds, you just show up, that's some good money for what they're asking him to do, which is fight Shannon Briggs. But Trill, you didn't pick who you got in this fight. Who would you pick?
You smooth. You see how I try to weasel my way out of that.
Complex, you know.
I'm gonna go with my heart on this one, man. I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna just say I am Mike Tyson. I'm just gonna. I gotta go. I understand and I agree with everything that Complex and G said, but I'm gonna go on my heart on this one. You know, I'm
still trying to go to Mike Tyson.
Grew up off of
I respect it. You know, I respect it. You know,
because you know what I'm saying, Shannon. You know what I'm saying, like, you know, I done seen a lot of muscle down people get beat down. You know what I'm saying?
I have as well. So
you know, it takes one. You know what I'm saying? Only
so
takes one.
My view on the situation is, ideally, I wish they were doing something other than bare knuckle boxing. I've said it before. I didn't want Shannon the Cannon to do it when he announced he was just going to do it. And that was before Mike Tyson's name was thrown into joining a bare knuckle fighting championship. I think clearly the bare knuckle fighting championship is looking for a way to grow its profile. They're looking for a way to get eyes on their particular brand. And so they're trying to, if they have to pay and use the popularity of old retired boxers, that's what they're going to do. And that got James Toney wants some of that money. You know, all the old heads is ready to come back. But for me, I'll say this. I don't want the fight to happen, but if it does happen, I'm going with Mike Tyson. And here's the reason why I'm picking Mike Tyson. Shannon Briggs has stamina issues. It's well documented. Even when you watch a Shannon Briggs fight, this is a lot of times he doesn't throw a lot of punches. Shannon Briggs is a guy, if he catches you, he'll pop you. But Tyson's shown a good chin. Now, one, I don't know what either of these guys' chin is going to be like in bare knuckle boxing and in their advanced age, right? But I know this, Mike Tyson's side to side movement his defense, his speed. He has pop. People are looking at like physique. If you look at physique, you're like, oh yeah, Shannon Briggs. It looks good, but how many punches can he throw? What happens when the bell rings for the second round and Shannon Briggs is gassed out and Mike Tyson still got more left in the tank because he showed better stamina throughout his career. He was a better overall fighter. And so like people get so caught up in like appearances sometimes. But for me, Tyson was a better fighter, prime for prime. Tyson had a better career. And to me, Tyson will still be a better fighter when they're old. That's just the way I see it. And there's no disrespect to the Cannon because let's go, champ.
Let's go.
But not against my champ. You know what I'm saying? No. Nah, but it doesn't mean that Shannon Cannon can't get him. But when I look at this and I'm being objective, I just think Cannon will be dangerous for the first 1 minute of the first round.
Not even the first round, just the first minute. Oh,
the first minute of the first round, he's gonna be
first
dangerous.
Third of the round, yeah. Oh my
God. That's my take on it. All right, so Mike Tyson was doing his podcast and he named his top 5 favorite active fighters. Those fighters were Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Andy Ruiz, Gervonta Davis, and Vasily Lomachenko. Noticeably left off the list is Anthony Joshua. The Guardian wrote an article saying that Tyson snubbed Anthony Joshua because he didn't name him. And so my question is, what are your thoughts on Mike Tyson leaving Anthony Joshua off of his top 5 favorite active fighters? Starts one off with Tripp.
Me and G just already told you in the T.I. interview, Mike Tyson was high. He was smooth. He just forgot him. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Simple mistake. Nah, but you know what? You know what I noticed, yo? The quarantine got people crazy. You know what I'm saying? Got people going crazy.
Same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody trying to make something of something. You know what I'm saying? Like never. He didn't mention him. You know? He didn't mention Floyd. He didn't mention Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think it's just somebody that's reaching. He didn't mention a lot of other people, too. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe people are just reaching. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, that means anything. I think it's people trying to just create something. That's what people do when there's nothing else to do. You create drama, you create mess. We seen that. We've seen people try to do that in our own comment section. You know what I'm saying? So this is what people do when they're bored. You know what I'm saying? That's what I gotta say. I don't think it was a snub.
All right, G.
Yeah, I agree with Trill on this one. I think he didn't really think about it too deep. He was just throwing out names. But when you look at the names that he mentioned, right, they're all exciting. Like the only person you could probably doesn't necessarily fit in that category would be Lomachenko. But like what Tyson said, he is a master in that ring. When you watch Lomachenko fight in the ring, it is spectacular. So, like, the people that he's mentioning, they all did something, like, spectacular. Like, Ruiz dropped AJ, like, beat AJ up. Tyson Fury literally knocked out Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder has been knocking dudes out for the longest. So those names make sense. Tank also been just laying dudes out in the lighter weight divisions. So I think in his mind, he was just thinking about exciting fighters at the moment. I don't think it was any disrespect to Anthony Joshua. I'm pretty sure if the interviewer or whatever just brought him up again, like, oh, what about Anthony Joshua or whatever, I think he would have been like, oh, yeah, that Joshua kid from the UK, oh, yeah, he's cool. So I don't think he was trying to throw shade at all at Anthony Joshua.
Exactly.
Complex.
I agree with what G was saying too.
Complex
he didn't
looks
Canelo
perplexed. Hold on.
Complex
has a perplexed look on his face. Let's see where he what's up, Complex?
I think it was 100% disrespect, and I think he meant it too. Look, it's real simple. I'll break it down for you. Real recognize real, all right? Real recognize real. Tyson don't see Joshua because he don't care for him, right? Who else doesn't like Joshua? Who else doesn't like Joshua? Lennox Lewis, all right? So you tell me 2 of the realest heavyweights in the past 30 years don't care for Joshua, I think it means something. So look, Joshua's fake. I think a lot of people don't like him, and I don't like him.
Clearly, you don't like him.
Hey, yo, you sure you don't want to use those magic gloves for another fighter?
No, I'm joking. No, I just think in terms of like, look, Joshua's cool. Joshua's a champion. But if you mean to tell me I'm the former heavyweight champion of the world, and I'm not going to mention the guy who has 3 belts. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be a big name. Joshua's obviously a huge name, but I just think Tyson doesn't care for him. I'll tell you my beef.
He didn't mention Canelo. He didn't mention Canelo either.
Yeah, but he's a heavyweight champion. He mentioned 3 heavyweights. He mentioned the guy who beat Joshua, but he didn't mention Joshua. So that says something. You know what I mean? In any event, I think Joshua's cool, but I just think Joshua, I think he was ducking people for a long time. I think that Joshua.
See, this is what I'm saying, man.
I let you
ducking people.
I let you. I don't cut you off, right, Caden? I know that's your favorite line. I don't cut you off, so let me finish my. In any event,
you don't know my favorite line.
Real recognize real. I think, and also, Joshua. His last fight was literally him jogging around the ring from Andy Ruiz. Look, Joshua, Andy Ruiz knock him out down 4 times, and then knock him out, and then Joshua comes back and runs around the ring. Tyson wants to see real fights. He wants to see real fighters. Guys going for the kill. Guys going for it. So I think he probably had a bad taste in his mouth. So I say it's 100% disrespect. I think he meant it, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, so check this out. Mike Tyson was at the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder rematch, and he was celebrating. He was celebrating like a schoolgirl who just finished seeing her favorite boy band when Tyson Fury stopped Deontay Wilder. Mm-hmm. Real recognize real. Right? So
yeah, his name's after him. It's his name.
Make me use my so-called favorite line. Yo, right? So he was celebrating like a schoolgirl because real recognize real, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
You have Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder who've been hinting at Mike Tyson hating on Deontay Wilder his entire career. We got those. You have legends in the house who just got up and walked out right after you KO'd him. There's footage of Deontay Wilder hating on Mike Tyson's career. How many Hall of Famers he fought? Name them. You know what I'm saying? People get mad when you say you can beat Mike Tyson. Been hating on Tyson. He's been hating on Tyson. So I have 2 explanations for what happened. One is very simple. It was a slip of the tongue. Mike Tyson thought he was saying Anthony Joshua, but he said Deontay Wilder. He meant to say Anthony Joshua, though. That's the first explanation.
Oh, man.
The second explanation is this. Did they tell him to name only 5 fighters, or was it a scenario where he was just going off the cuff? Because if they said, name your top 5 favorite fighters right now, and he left Joshua off the list, then it can somehow be considered a snub. But if he was just naming guys he likes to watch fight off the top of his head, there's no snub there. He was just naming guys he likes to see fight. But for me, it's a slip of the tongue because, we all know how he feels about Deontay.
and we all know if you don't got Canelo in your top 5, something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying?
He mentioned Wilder as one of his favorites. He didn't mention Joshua. End of story. So when it comes to Tyson, and when he recognizes it's real, even after Wilder lost, he could have left Wilder out and he could say, yeah, because I'm rooting for Tyson Fury, but he didn't. He mentioned Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So I don't know how you mentioned the 2 guys who are 2 heavyweights who don't have all the belts, but you mentioned those guys, but you don't mention the guy with the 3 belts. And you mentioned the guy who beat the guy with the 3 belts. He don't care for Joshua.
Ruiz is a poor man's Mike Tyson. So I could understand why he would like Andy Ruiz.
And he was at the Tyson, and he was probably at the Tyson Wilder fight, right? When he made that statement.
What? I don't know. No,
What Mike Tyson was at the Fury Wilder fight, the second fight. But also here's the thing. Leaving out Joshua's name, here's another thing to consider. Like, I hate to be the one to do this, but Anthony Joshua made $85 million for one fight. Lennox Lewis, I can tell Lennox Lewis doesn't like Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua gets all the fame, all the money. In a way, Lennox never got it. And I could tell, like, Lennox despised that because Lennox feels like I was a better fighter than him. And
I can see
he
that.
was a better fighter.
Huh?
He was a better fighter.
I agree. But he didn't get paid like Joshua.
He didn't get like all this fanfare like
he
Joshua.
didn't get the notoriety. He didn't get the fans like Joshua.
Can I explain what? Or I'll let you finish. What?
Yeah, you can jump in. So a lot of what you see, for me, like with these guys who hate on Joshua, like Lennox Lewis and even Mike Tyson, maybe believe it or not, there's a little bit of envy, a little bit of this guy I had to work harder than him to get it. I was better than him, and I didn't get it like that. You got this man having countries build stadiums that they're going to tear down just to get him in there. You got this guy selling out arenas. That's why Carl Froch hate him. You got this guy doing things we've never seen. He sold out MGM Grand like this, and people like Michael Jackson never did it. Man, you couldn't buy tickets on your phone when Michael Jackson was performing. Get the hell out of here. Man, how you could buy a ticket now on the subway, in a tunnel? You couldn't do that when Michael Jackson was performing. But you got people who hate Joshua so much because of how easy he's getting it. And that could be a reason why he left Joshua out as well. But
Joshua is getting it easy. I think like Lennox Lewis had to get it from the mud. Lennox Lewis for years was ducked, dodged, couldn't get the big fights. You know, guys didn't want to fight him until he finally did get the belts, and then he fought murderers, right? I think he sees Joshua. He's like, look, Joshua fought Charles Martin, as he called him, a Muppet. Like, come on, Charles Martin, like, wasn't a real fight. Then he fought Vladimir Klitschko at the end of Klitschko's career, but he's getting credit.
I don't want to hear that from a Wilder fan.
Let me finish. I'll let you talk.
Go ahead.
I'll let you talk.
Go ahead.
I knew that was coming.
He beat an old Klitschko, and people, and it's a win. A win is a win, but he's giving up, the people giving him props like he beat prime Klitschko, as if Klitschko wasn't coming.
How old was Klitschko when he beat him? Do you know?
Like 42.
Was he 42? I don't think so.
Yeah, he was 42. Yeah.
He was old.
42?
Yeah, he was 42.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Povetkin was 38.
How? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So
I already know what he's doing.
You're trying to.
Luis Ortiz is pretty old. but you'll tell me, and Luis Ortiz not a former champion, but you'll tell me that's a good win.
Different fighters, people peak at different times. Luis Ortiz did not have the tread on him. So
are you kidding me?
It's different fights. In any event,
go ahead, bro.
I know you guys so well, man.
This is my point. Lennox Lewis is like, look, I had to go through actual murders. Like in my time, there was actual murderers, right? He fought Vitaly Klitschko before, Klitschko.
He got saved by a cut. That's what he got saved by.
Yeah, and he
retired. And he retired after that because he knew Vitaly was gonna tap that behind. That's why he retired.
It was a new era. He knew it was a new era.
He knew his time was done.
Don't mention Vitaly like Lennox. Lennox got his behind whooped that fight. Lennox knew what was going to happen.
He knew that
best of his time.
Lennox knew what was going to happen to him.
He knew it was the ending of that era.
Lennox was the best of his time. Lennox was the best of his time, and he had to actually prove it. He had to fight actual guys. How was Lennox
the best of his time, though? Because, hold on, let me just say this to you. Just like you say, Joshua got Vladimir Klitschko at the end. Lewis didn't fight Tyson in his prime. Lewis got Tyson coming out of jail, right? Tyson had three
was
fights.
Overweight.
Then he got beat by Holyfield. Then
he
had terrible fights, and then he stepped in the ring with Lewis, and then Lewis beat him. And you act like he beat the prime Mike Tyson. Everyone who's being
before that fight, did Tyson not destroy what's his face?
Exactly.
I'm blanking on the dude.
I know.
No, exactly. But he still was a top fighter at the time. I think he was even a champion. But then this is my point. I don't want to get into this.
Go ahead. Mike Tyson.
Tyson was still.
Here's the difference. I'll give it to you that Lennox Lewis beat Mike Tyson later on in Mike Tyson's career. But if you're being real with yourself, you know Mike Tyson peaked. Mike Tyson peaked early in his career. And Lennox would not have beat him then. If they would have fought when Mike Tyson was undisputed in 87, Lennox wanted Tyson when Tyson was coming out of jail, when Tyson was idle for 3 years, when Tyson had, what was it? He had Peter McNeely, Buster Mathis, and then he had Holyfield. Come on, man. That wasn't enough time for the man to get back.
It doesn't matter. He beat look, you're talking about Tyson. Okay. Yet Evander Holyfield, who beat Tyson twice, lost to Lennox, right? So even to say is Tyson the best, Tyson was the best at a certain era.
That's a good win.
The 90s, the later 90s, after Tyson went to jail and came back, Tyson was still amazing. But maybe that wasn't his prime. But at the same time, from that time, the late 90s on, all the guys who were champions, I think Lennox was the best out of all of them. And he proved it.
Here's what I'm saying.
Tyson wasn't amazing. He was a mere shell of himself.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was a shell.
Exactly. He was not,
he had good wins.
He didn't have the movement. He didn't have the speed.
Okay. In that fight with Lennox, bro, that wasn't Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but okay.
Yo, listen, here's all I'm saying to you. You're doing a classic thing that I don't like. To discredit Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko was old. But then to give credit to Lennox Lewis for being old and sloppy, and Mike Tyson, who wasn't.
I didn't even bring up Tyson as a fighter.
You give credit to Deontay Wilder for being old, sloppy Luis Ortiz.
I didn't bring up Tyson. I didn't bring up Tyson as a big win. I said Lennox is the best of his era, right? And this is for that reason. Tyson's just one of the many wins that he had in that time. So that's not. I'm not basing my whole argument off that. In any event.
Okay, give me some great wins.
This is my point.
Go ahead.
Evander Holyfield.
That's good.
Hakeem Rahman.
Hakeem's not great, bro.
He got him back.
Not a great win.
He got him back. I can't remember all his fights. I know. I
think Lennox is great. I'm just saying, like,
remember his whole pedigree right now.
Gas it.
Don't gas it. He was the man. He was the man at that time.
He was.
And he was the man. Klitschko, who was the next champion, who people say was better than Vladimir.
So here's my point. I think Lennox Lewis was amazing. But what I'm saying is don't overstate his resume like Joshua can never touch him. Or like it was like light years ahead of Joshua.
It is. Don't even compare
resumes. No, it's not.
I mean, we could agree to disagree because I'm not talking about that. You mean Lennox Lewis's resume compared to first off?
No, bro. Lennox Lewis' resume is better now. But Joshua is still fighting. He's still writing his script.
And that's fine. But my point is this. In terms of Joshua's path to unified, it was fairly easy in the history of the sport. In terms of who he fought, he got some good fights and some good wins that, like, for Lennox to get to that point.
Who did Lennox beat to unify? How about that? Who did Lennox beat to unify?
Didn't he beat Evander Holyfield?
He beat Evander Holyfield. That's one fight.
To unify. And then wasn't Tyson one of the fights that Tyson had a belt? No,
Tyson vacated the belt to fight Evander.
Well, Tyson was a champion.
Because all of them are called tap Lennox Lewis up. And then Mike Tyson got the belt. And then Tyson vacated the belt to fight Evander Holyfield. Then Lennox won the belt back. Won the WC strap back.
Yeah. In any event, first off, can we agree on one thing? Were heavyweights back then better than heavyweights today?
I think we all agree on that.
Okay. So heavyweights back then were better than heavyweights today. So even if you want to compare, heavyweights in the 90s, between the late 80s and 90s, was an era that's way better than we've seen since then. Honestly, the last great era, I would say, was then. I think now between you have top names, you can kind of make a case that there are some good names, but really that era was way different. So first off, I'm giving more props for that. My thing is this. I don't want to belabor this point. I think the reason why Lennox doesn't like Joshua is not because he's just always making money, whatever, and he's more popular, whatever. He's like, yo, I had to go through murderers to get to my unified belts. Joshua is trying to go through, he got those 3 belts, and then even the biggest fight, which would have been against Deontay Wilder, Joshua was like, well, I'm young in my career, and I'm not going to let anybody rush me. It doesn't matter if it takes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, talking all this craziness. Lennox Lewis was like, yo, you're a champion. You have to fight Fight the other top guys. I don't want to hear this businessman argument and this whatever. Are you the top dog or not?
This is why it's difficult to listen to you, because you operate like Joshua was ducking Deontay Wilder, and I for one think it's nonsense. And I'm not trying to have that argument, but I'll just say this and move on, because this isn't what it's about. I agree there were a lot more heavyweights that were better than the current crop of heavyweights. But you take Tyson Fury and you put Tyson Fury in the era back then, I think Tyson Fury still beats a couple of those guys. I think
Does
Tyson
he beat Lennox
Fury's
Lewis?
still elite. He probably could. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying is I don't look at Tyson Fury versus Lennox Lewis and think, ooh, what a mismatch. I don't think that. If you tell me Tyson Fury is going to fight a prime Lennox Lewis, I say that's a proper spot.
Y'all going over to the point. Kaden just said before all of this back and forth that you believe Mike Tyson is. You're implying that Mike Tyson's jealous of Anthony Joshua, and I don't believe that. Tyson seems so humble and so calm and collected when he talks about other fighters. He never bashes people. He's just like, yo, it is what it is. So I don't see him like snubbing Anthony Joshua on some intentional like I hate on this guy. I don't see that in Mike Tyson, to be honest with you. He doesn't seem like a hater. Maybe Lennox Lewis, but not Mike Tyson.
I never said that he was a hater, but I do feel like you don't have to be a hater. But I feel like there's a part of you that subconsciously, if you feel like someone got it easy, then you don't respect it. Like, for example, if I feel like I worked harder for a grade than someone, and later on they get the same grade as me, are they getting better grades than me, but I know they're working in an easier system, I'm not going to mention them when I say of people who I think work hard or people who I think are. So I do feel like there is this view of Anthony Joshua, whether fair or not, that he's someone who got it easy and didn't really have to dig deep like they did. But there's always that guy, and I'm not saying that's what Mike Tyson. And I said if he left him off, that would be to me the reason why he left him off. Saying like if it was indeed a snub, that's why he snubbed him. I said I don't think he snubbed Joshua, but I was just giving an explanation for if there was in fact, because I'm not Mike. But if he did in fact snub him, that would be the reason why I think he would snub him. What were you gonna say, Trill?
Now, I was like, just listening to the conversation, I agree with all three of you gentlemen. All three of y'all make certain points, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Lennox probably does feel like he had like what Complex was saying, Lennox probably feels like he had a tougher road. You know what I'm saying? He had a tougher road than Joshua. The things that he had to do, and he don't get the type of love that Joshua does, and he feel like he has a tougher road. Alluding to what you was also saying, Kaden, about how, you know what I'm saying, might be a little jealousy there. I do feel like I always said there was a little bit of jealousy there I felt on Lennox's part. You know what I'm saying? But I also agreed with G when G said about Tyson. You know, I don't think Tyson would go out his way to snub Anthony Joshua. I think he was just running off the names, and, you know, might get high. You know what I'm saying? He just forgot about him. You know what I'm saying? So, but Lennox, I think, right, with the thing about Lennox, I think there's something there. I always said there was something there.
Hold on, can I just say something real quick? This is Lennox's. So first off, after Tyson lost to Lennox, he still beat Clifford Etienne, was the guy I was thinking of, the Black Mamba guy. But then he lost to Danny McBride and
the Rhino. You mean
Danny
the Black Rhino?
The Black Rhino.
Are you kidding me? Clifford Etienne.
He knocked him out in like 10 seconds. I remember
that.
Fight.
He picked him up. And he said,
wasn't a tough guy.
That's when I broke my back.
I know.
My back.
I broke my back.
And then these are Lennox Lewis's last couple fights: Vitaly Klitschko, Mike Tyson, Hasim Rahman, the first loss to Rahman, David Tua, Francois Bartha, Evander Holyfield, Shannon Briggs, Andrew Galata, Oliver McCall, Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison. I mean, like Frank Bruno, he's beating Razor Ruddock. He's beating, like, I think, to me, a much harder.
You know what's funny? A lot of those guys you named, Mike Tyson beat them too.
And then Lennox beat Tyson. So.
But yeah, he look at the dates though. This is what I'm saying to you. Look at the dates when they fought. That's all I'm saying to you. and look at what you know. Look at when Mike Tyson was released from prison.
Agreed.
Look at when he fought. Look at how many fights he had, and then look at when he fought Lennox Lewis. What I'm trying to tell you is, this is what I'm saying about boxing, and it's fine. I think Lennox is a great fighter, but you have Mike Tyson, someone who had 15 fights in 1 year, his first year in the pros. Then he had 13 fights, his second year as a professional. Then he won the title. That's when he was Iron Mike. That's when he was the best, undisputed.
But some of the names on his list early on too, he fought what's his name super late in his career after he lost the titles. Champion for all the 80s.
Larry Holmes,
right.
You mean Larry Holmes that was undefeated until he fought Michael Spinks and lost 2 fights to Michael Spinks, 2 decisions, his only 2 L's. At that time, Larry Holmes was the lineal heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Lost lineal status to Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks vacated the IBF belt because he went to fight Jerry Cooney. Then he went on and he beat Cooney. Then Mike Tyson beat Tucker, who won the vacant IBF. And then not only did he beat Larry Holmes, but he also beat Leon Spinks to become lineal as well. So once again, you can't
off the top.
Hold on a second.
You can't knock Iron Mike Tyson for that, because not only did he beat Larry, and remember, only one man had beaten Larry prior to Mike Tyson beating him, and that was Michael Spinks.
He didn't just beat him; he knocked him out.
Yeah, but Larry wasn't Larry. But this is my point. Yeah, he beat Larry Holmes, but at the same time, Larry wasn't the same Larry. That's my point. Is that every fighter might have a win. They do.
Okay, so here's what I'll say to you. Larry Holmes was 38 years old, former lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Only lost to one man prior to fighting Mike Tyson by decision, and Mike Tyson knocked him out at 38 years old. You and all you Wilder fans will tell me when Wilder knocked out a 38 Luis Ortiz that was his best win, but say Tyson beat an old over-the-hill Larry Holmes. Did you know Larry Holmes became heavyweight champion of the world again after Mike Tyson beat him? Did you know that? So how's that washed up?
He still was washed. He still wasn't the same. He still wasn't the same. Bro, Larry Holmes as a young man, are you kidding me? Larry Holmes beat Muhammad Ali, but even he would say, look, that wasn't the same Muhammad Ali. So this is my point. Look, you get the win, you get the credit, fine. But also context matters, and let's not amp up certain things. That's my whole point, right? Like, you get the win, fine, but at the same time, we know nothing's perfect. It's not in the prime of, everybody's not in their prime when they fight.
Listen, that's right. Everyone's not in their prime when they fight. And if Lennox Lewis would have fought Mike Tyson in '87, Mike Tyson would have hung his skull on the wall.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, maybe, we don't know.
Listen, Mike Tyson in '87.
We know that you know. Yeah,
Riddick Bowe didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis. He dropped the WBC to avoid Lennox.
I know. Listen,
you know what I mean? Like,
the question,
Lennox was avoided too.
It's not about whether fighters get, ducked or whatever. Here's my thing. When you catch a guy at the right time, that just means the moon, the stars align for you.
It is what it is.
But what I'm saying to you is, you can't downplay Joshua's resume. You give a lot of credit to these other fighters and what they did, but then you downplay Joshua's resume. Joshua can only beat the guys in front of him, and he's shown the willingness to get in the ring with these guys and take them on. You'll say everyone in the world's ducking Wilder, but everyone calls that guy out, man. Mike Tyson might fight him at 53. That's how much nobody's afraid of that dude. Like, yo, you and his screaming fans make it seem like, yo, everyone calls that dude out. Yo, not only do people call that dude out, they disrespect him. Big Baby Miller's talking about his wife. Dillian White's talking about her. You guys make it seem like he's the baddest man on the planet. Nobody cares about that dude.
Dillian White's talking trash. Dillian White makes no sense. He's talking man trash in the UK. He wants to fight Wilder. Yet in the same stable is the other heavyweight champion. Yeah, he's not crying. Don't you guys see? This is all fugazi. This is all a game.
He already fought him. He already fought Anthony Joshua.
And he can't get another fight with him? He's just fighting his leftovers.
Why is he another fight with him? Why don't Wilder fight him?
Because he doesn't want to fight anybody to get into the
Why doesn't Wilder fight any young, active fighter who's not coming off of being knocked out in a prior fight or who's not coming off a layoff? How about that?
Who do you want? When was Wilder?
How about that?
Gentlemen, I forgot the question.
Wilder was ducking Dillian White.
I forgot the question.
How about
Wilder ducking Dillian White?
Oh, man.
How about that?
Yo, G.
I know. I feel you, Trill.
G, I'm with G.
Yeah.
I forgot the question.
I was like, come on, guys. We
let's
talking about Wilder when we
let's
should be
move
talking
on.
about Tyson. Y'all serious? Come on. I should be ashamed of y'all.
He started it.
Who should be ashamed? Hey, listen, man.
About a legend. Y'all talking about some foolishness. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen. This ain't no foolishness, man.
Was we talk about the bed? Was we talk about bare knuckle fighting?
No, we were actually talking about Mike Tyson naming his favorite active fighters.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Complex used it as an opportunity to take a dump on Anthony Joshua. That's what he did.
Oh, not to rehash anything, but I will say this one thing, and then we can let it die. No matter what age Klitschko was, bro, he was a problem in the heavyweight division. Even when he fought Anthony Joshua, he was extremely dangerous. So nobody could take that victory away from AJ. That's all I'm saying.
When he beat who? Sorry?
When AJ beat Klitschko. No one could take that away from him. That was a certified victory right there.
Agreed.
To each their own.
Wow. That's crazy.
He wasn't as good as Luis Ortiz, G. the man who never won a national amateur title or a heavyweight title. He wasn't as good as him. All right, moving on. On a podcast, Oscar De La Hoya said after training for 3 months, he would knock out Conor McGregor in 2 rounds. Conor accepted the challenge from Oscar De La Hoya, and De La Hoya backtracked and recanted. G, what are your thoughts on that?
I actually agree with Oscar De La Hoya 1,000%. I definitely believe he could knock out Conor McGregor in 2 rounds. Conor McGregor is not really the greatest boxer. Maybe in the octagon, he would give De La Hoya that work. But in that ring, I'm sorry, he's not that good. When he fought Mayweather, you could tell Mayweather was toying with him throughout the fight. I just don't see, even though I know, Oscar De La Hoya is older. You know, he's stepped away from the boxing thing. He's just a promoter now. I believe if he got back in training mode, he dropped a little weight, started weight training again, started sparring, started hitting the heavy bag, speed bag, this and the third. I do believe that he will knock out Conor McGregor.
In the second round?
Second round. Hold on. My predictions haven't been the best now. However, I'm confident with this one. If that fight actually happened, I will put money up. Real talk. Second round knockout. It might be first.
True.
I'm with G.
One last thing. Don't
right.
ever underestimate the Mexican chin. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? So, continue on.
All right, True.
Listen, I'm never going to underestimate Oscar De La Hoya again. You know what I'm saying? Golden Boy. The Golden Boy could definitely take out McGregor. This is different. In the boxing ring, this is different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he can take him out in 2 rounds or no, but I know he can stop him. He can stop him. He definitely can stop him.
All right, Complex.
I think I smell something. I don't know, Oscar. I think I smell, you know what the next word is. Look, Oscar's being, I don't want to be vulgar on the podcast. Oscar was wearing, some pantyhose or boxers at the time, but Oscar need to put on his big boy pants.
It's Halloween.
Bro, you guys are fighters. Another man called you out. You said you could beat him in 2 rounds, so prove it. This is why Conor McGregor's a G. Look, Conor McGregor, I respect him for this reason. You talk all this trash. You said you could beat me. He says, I accept. All right, let's do it. So why would you back down, Oscar? Oscar, you're a fighter. If you could beat him, beat him. Why didn't you just go ahead and do it? First off, it's a big fight, and he's been saying for a long time, because even when Conor fought Mayweather, Oscar was like, oh, this is a bum fight. I could beat him. So Connor's a real G. Connor was like, all right, then come prove it. What's up? You want to do it? Let's do it. And he didn't want to. And Oscar's turning it down. I was really disappointed, honestly. When I saw Connor say that tweet, I was amped. I was like, let's go, champ. I was like, let's go, Oscar. I wanted to see what Oscar was going to say. I thought Oscar was going to be like, all right, bet, let's do it. I'm not, if I'm a former champion, I'm not backing down from anybody. I don't care if I'm 60 years old. If I say I can whip your ass, I'm whipping it, right? So I was really let down by Oscar. I think Oscar should have came harder than that. I expected more from the Golden Boy. Would he beat him? Probably, maybe. You know what I mean? Oscar's a beast, obviously. Oscar's one of the best fighters of his time, But look, if another man calls you out, you got to stand tall and just take that. Be like, yeah, let's do it. Even if you know you're gonna lose, you still gotta come through. Like, yeah, what's up? You got to talk your shit. Like, look, I don't care who you are. So I'm a little bit disappointed in Oscar.
Probably went to the gym. Right. This is what Oscar did. He, instead of replying, he put the booger sugar down and he went into the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Took the leotard off.
The leotard off.
He took the leotard off, put the booger sugar down, and went into the gym. He don't got time to respond.
I was saying, I got mixed feelings on this one. For me, De La Hoya started it by saying that he could beat Conor McGregor. So it's kind of like you started it. Mm-hmm. And so when Conor says, I accept, let's do it, you can't back down so quickly.
Thank you.
Right? Like, at least be like, well, he the way he backed down was just so quick. I'm like, what? Like, you can't back down like that. Like, at least say a little something back. But he just like, nah, I was on a podcast and whatever. But I feel him. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya don't need to fight. He don't need to fight for money. He has nothing left to prove. So last time he tried to prove something, he got the brakes beat off him. When he tried to lose weight to fight Manny Pacquiao. That was a very bad decision.
He looked like a crackhead in the process of getting beat up.
I know. As soon as he stepped on the scale at the weigh-in, I said, Pacquiao going to kill this man. Pacquiao about to kill this man. I was like, throw in the towel before it started. Throw in the towel. Last time he tried to prove something, it didn't go well. And De La Hoya is a guy who tried to prove a lot in his career, so I give him credit. He tried to fight Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, didn't work out too well. He tried to fight Manny Pacquiao, didn't work out well. He tried to fight Floyd Mayweather, didn't work out well. But the one thing you can't question on Oscar De La Hoya is his heart. I mean, he went in there with Fernando Vargas. He was able to pull out a tough one.
You got to mention that
he got robbed against Shane Mosley, one of those fights. Oscar De La Hoya, he's taking on challenges. So, and he's an old man. And Conor, there's an old man you can pick on who's still fighting. Manny Pacquiao, you can pick on him. Pick on the Pac-Man.
You don't want that
pick
word.
on Pac-Man. Why you like Oscar De La Hoya? But because Oscar De La Hoya was the one who initiated it, I can't get mad at Conor McGregor for saying, all right, let's do it then. It seemed like really Conor was just calling him out. Like, let me call your bluff then.
Exactly.
Real quick. And then Oscar De La Hoya was like, it was a bluff. It was a bluff. I was like, why you fold so fast, De La Hoya? That's the only thing I got beef with. How quickly he folded. But no, he don't need to fight Conor McGregor. Let that. I don't think he would beat Conor McGregor at this point. I don't think the fight's still in him. I think like De La Hoya, I don't think the fight's in him anymore. I don't know if I would pick it.
Watch your mouth. You know what I mean?
I'm being real. Listen, there's certain guys, like, I don't know if the fight's still in Oscar, man. I'm being real.
I don't know. Conor just got to say the right things.
That's what
Conor disrespect. Yep. Conor disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Oscar in a certain way. Oscar might come out. You see what happened with Mayorga. He brought the dog out.
When's the last time you seen Oscar hitting the mitts? When's the last time you seen Oscar doing anything? Like, for real, this is what I mean about the fight still in them. Like, you see guys doing something. Like, you see Floyd whoop tension over, like, Floyd still doing a little something. Yeah, Floyd still in the gym. You still see they're like, oh, Floyd was just hitting the bag or whatever.
No, listen.
I haven't seen Oscar do anything involving boxing.
Because De La Hoya don't want to outshine Canelo.
Right. The last time I saw De La Hoya doing anything,
outshine his youngest, bro. You know what I mean?
Listen, the last time I saw De La Hoya doing anything in the gym, he was talking about he was going to go to the vault and break out the tape for Canelo on how to beat Floyd Mayweather. That's the last time I saw him in the gym doing anything.
Hey, man.
No, for real. Tell me, when's the last time you seen Canelo hitting the speed bag or doing anything? I mean, not Canelo. I mean, De La Hoya. When's the last time you
De La Hoya, he's saying it's like riding a bike to the Golden Boy.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's like riding a bike to the Golden Boy.
I don't know. I just can't see him just.
I hear you, bro.
I know one thing. The press conferences would be incredible because Conor would violate De La Hoya. He would pull all types of mess out.
De La Hoya won't say nothing.
That'd be what the pay-per-view.
De La Hoya won't say nothing. You remember when Floyd was running circles on De La Hoya? Yeah. And De La Hoya was like, I'm going to make it a rough and tough fight. And then Mayweather was like, nah, De La Hoya, he's not witty with the banter, man. Conor McGregor will run circles around him. But all right, we'll move on to the next thing. Bob Arum says that he wants Fury versus Wilder trilogy. He wants the trilogy to happen. The reason why he wants the trilogy to happen is because he's saying he wants Kubrat Pulev to beat Anthony Joshua because he promotes Kubrat Pulev and he wants to promote the undisputed fight, having both his fighters fight for undisputed. So why would he have Pulev step aside when he can promote both fighters who are going for undisputed? And so, Complex, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, where do I begin? Look, couple things. The truth. I'm always told the truth. I actually spit facts. I mean, in any event,
Trill left to scream on that one.
Anyways, the reason why, this whole Fury Joshua thing, people getting all excited, whatever. To me, I've been rolling my eyes at it the whole time. For this reason, it's not possible. First off, you're talking about sidestep money for Wilder and Kubrat Pulev. You know how much money you'd have to pay Wilder to make him step aside? It doesn't even make any sense. Even if you get a Saudi billionaire to put up $1 billion, you're going to have to pay Wilder like $10, $20 million just to step aside. Why would he step aside? I have a contract, a legally binding contract that guarantees me a third fight. I'm exercising that. End of story. When Joshua lost, he exercised his right. That's it. That's how it goes, right? Then what's more is that people don't realize the logistics of this happening. Kubrat Pulev is a mandatory. You'd have to pay him a step aside, but guess what? There's another mandatory, Alexander Usyk for the WBO title. He's trying to take step aside money. He's holding off because he wants a shot. And then what's more is that even on the WBC side, technically, Dillian White's supposed to have a fight in February of 2021 for the WBC belt. So in my view, there's no way that you can have all four belts tied up. And what's more, it's not fair to the other fighters. Look, everybody wants to be part of the undisputed. Everybody wants to have the big fight, even as fans. But at the same time, you have to be real. All these other guys fight their whole lives for the same opportunity. If I'm Kubrat Pulev, even if I'm 40 years old, why am I going to give up an opportunity to fight for a big fight, to get all these belts, just so I can watch two other men do it, to live my dream? No, I'm the mandatory. I fought my way to get here, and I deserve it. And there's no way you could say that you could take it away, because there's been guys in history who've sued belt organizations and won. Almost, I forget the dude in the early 2000s.
Lennox Lewis did it.
Yeah. If you don't give the guy his shot when he doesn't want to take step aside money or nothing, then you can't hold that against him. He's gonna, he can take you to court. So it's too much logistics. The only way Fury Joshua fight happens is if they drop the belts. That's it. They can fight for the ring, and I think the WBA doesn't have any mandatories if they want to fight for that belt. But there's no other way they're going to fight for undisputed. So people just need to drop that. Let them play out the fights, and then if they still win, the fight is still bigger. But in any event, Bob Arum's right. Bob Arum, like I said earlier, he's smart in terms of a boxing mind. Has he done some dumb things? Yeah. But at the same time, the reason why Bob's still in business, the reason why Bob's been doing it for all these years, because he knows the boxing business. He's very shrewd when it comes to the numbers. he was like, who is the money going to come from to pay Wilder? It's ridiculous. So, look, I said a lot. It ain't happening anyways, but I agree with Bob.
All right, G.
All right. I see what you're saying, Complex, but these are where I differ. For one, nobody wants to see that Pulev-Joshua fight, right? And not to mention, Pulev's taken step aside money before, so what's to say he won't do it again, right? And two, you're talking about Deontay Wilder, who currently is recovering from a bicep tear, right? So then now, for him to rush into a rematch, knowing that he can't throw jabs effectively, doesn't even make sense. This is like a blessing in disguise for Deontay Wilder. So I think Deontay Wilder's side, they would take the step aside, and that gives him time to recover, because if he doesn't, he's definitely going to get washed up in the trilogy. And there was one more thing I wanted to say too. Yeah, forget it, man. Those are those two major points though. Pulev's definitely going to take the step aside. Oh yeah, and Alexander Usyk, right? Usyk would definitely take the step aside for this simple.
He was already taking it. He was already going to fight Derek Chisora.
Thank you. So, you know what I mean? He's not going to exercise his mandatory when he's still green in the heavyweight division. That would be foolish on his end. He's going to wait, and he's fine with that. So I believe Pulev will take it. I believe Alexander Usyk will take it. And I think if Deontay Wilder is thinking with his head and not with his ego, he will take the step aside also. Now, the real question would be, where will the fight take place, right? Clearly, it can't be in the UK. It can't be in the United States. I believe it will probably be in Saudi Arabia or probably in like China or something. It has to be in an industry, a place where they have deep pockets, where they can afford those two guys plus all the other guys with their step aside. So it's going to have to be either Saudi Arabia or China.
I was just going to say quickly, that's my point. It's a lot of step aside money. So you're talking about before you even pay the two main guys, you got to pay at least almost 3 to 4 other fighters step aside money just to get that fight going. Unless somebody just feels like blowing $1 billion, that's the only way I see it happening.
All right, Trill.
If I had a promotion company, I'll play it just like how Bob did it. I'll do just what Bob did. But as a boxing fan, I would wish that these guys would take step aside money so I could see the fight that I want to see. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say.
Man, I gotta say a number of things. So let me get the floor real quick. For starters, Bob Arum's only saying this for one reason and one reason only. He is extremely confident that Tyson Fury is going to wax Deontay Wilder. If he had any fear in the world that Tyson Fury was going to lose to Deontay Wilder, he would be trying to promote the step aside. But from Bob Arum's perspective, when you're extremely confident your cash cow is going to win the fight that he's currently in, and then you have a freebie at Anthony Joshua, you take your freebie at Anthony Joshua. See, what he has is essentially a fight he's very confident his cash cow is going to win, that being Tyson Fury Xing off Deontay Wilder. And then he has Kubrat Pulev getting a shot at taking out Anthony Joshua. So if that does work out, then he has 2 guys fighting for undisputed. But before you say Bob is some shrewd businessman, let me remind you that Bob Arum's the same guy who let Floyd Mayweather buy his way out of a contract and become the richest fighter to ever fight in the history of the sport of boxing. So that was a dumb deal. He's also the guy who let Andy Ruiz buy himself out of the contract. And then as you saw, Andy Ruiz went on to defeat Anthony Joshua and get a rematch where he made lots of money. He's also the guy who managed Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao 4 years and brought us such fights as Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley. How'd that work out, Bob? That was a loss, then a rematch. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was a trilogy too, right? Mm-hmm. Bradley and was a trilogy fight. Then it was Pacquiao Marquez 1, Pacquiao Marquez 2, Pacquiao Marquez 3, and then Pacquiao Marquez 4. And then how did that work out, Bob? Right? So this shrewd businessman makes a lot of mistakes as well. And so he's fairly confident that Tyson Fury is going to beat Deontay Wilder. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm that confident as well. Deontay Wilder's lost the majority of the rounds they've been in the ring. And now he has a hurt bicep, a hurt ego, and a bunch of people talking about some gloves. Like, that's what he got going on. So Bob Arum's extremely confident. But let me just say this, Bob. You've been confident before, and it's backfired. Not that I think that this is going to backfire, but it can. It can. And then what are you going to say? If Wilder does land that right hand and Fury doesn't get back up, you should have tried to get that step aside, right? But I get it. You're in a position right now where you're 100, when you're not never really 100%, but you're fairly confident that Tyson Fury takes care of Deontay Wilder, and I am too. So now you got a freebie. You got a freebie. Let Pulev go and see if he can take out Joshua. What do you have to lose? The only way you lose is if Wilder beats Fury.
But one thing I gotta say about with Bob, I don't think he's a top shrewd businessman like you mentioned. He made mistakes before, but with some of those fights you mentioned, his number one guy lost, but he still won because most of those guys were signed to him. You know what I'm saying? Like Timothy Bradley was signed to him. You know what I'm saying? Other guys were signed to him, like Marquez and them. So he was able to still win. I said that I would do this deal right here because just say if Pulev wins and Tyson Fury, like you say, he's confident in Tyson Fury winning, that fight will be under his banner between Pulev and Tyson Fury. And why not have that under Top Rank?
Exactly. You say he won. You say he won because those fighters were in his stable.
No. I said it felt like, you know, it was still in his stable. You feel me? He was still controlled.
They lost to other people in his stable, right? But what it did was when Timothy Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao, it lost the fight with Floyd Mayweather lost some of its luster, right? And so people were like, okay. But then Teddy Atlas and the rest of the world and everyone convinced everyone that it was a robbery, right? So then they do it again the second time and Pacquiao wins. Then they do it again the third time and then Pacquiao wins. And then when he got knocked out cold by Marquez, that's when Manny Pacquiao had to come to Floyd Mayweather and said, "You're right, you're the A side." So, I mean, yeah, he kept it all in the family, but he lost the overall negotiation that
in the long run.
Win in the long run.
But like Don King said, I always walk out with the winner. Bob Arum has been in business a long time. Bob Arum freaking promoted Thrilla in Manila. This man has been around a long, long time. So he's not dumb. Has he made some mistakes? Sure. Could he have kept on certain guys? He didn't see that them turn out the way they did. Fair. But he knows money. He knows the business of boxing. And this is why Bob Arum goes so hard against people. I mean, because he goes hard against like the Eddie Hearns and whatever. He's like, yeah, Eddie Hearns a good kid, but he's just blowing all this money. He doesn't know what he's doing. Because Bob Arum knows he can see the future because he's already been there. He's done it all. He's like, look, I've been in the boxing game,
but he let Maywever go.
He's like, I've been in the boxing
game, but
he
let Andy Ruiz go.
I've been in the boxing game. Nobody's broken. You know, it's people lose when you've been in the game that long. You're bound to get a few losses. Are you talking about a 40+
That's not a few losses. That's the biggest loss in boxing history, bro.
Which promoter from back then is still in business today?
From back then?
From the 70s. He's winning because he's still alive.
Technically, Don King is still in business, bro.
Technically, but I'm saying Bob Arum still has Top Rank on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. He has an exclusive deal on ESPN. You don't get there if you don't know certain things about boxing and the boxing business.
You hear what you hear. Let me just say this, bro. Respectfully, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. Well, all you're telling me is that he started longer than everyone, so he was able to accrue a stable of fighters before other people got started. So just imagine you take a group of people and you give them all types of advantages, and then other people have to start from behind, and then eventually they catch up. You look at when you look at where he started and the grip he had on the game back then compared to now, he's losing the grip, bro. Other people are advancing over him, and you keep pointing back to the fact that he's still there. The only reason he's there right now is because he started ahead of everyone. He started before everyone. And
but all these other people who started have stopped.
He had so much of a stable, and he had so much connections that he was privileged over people like Eddie Hearn, over people like Al Heyman, because of how long he's been in the game. And they're still advancing over him because they're better at business than him. But go ahead.
Remember, the way he hates Eddie Hearn is the same way he hated Al Heyman also. The same argument. They're spending too much money. They're giving up too much rights to these boxers. So it's like the same old narrative. He's so old school. He's just trying to have a grip on the entire industry. And it's just like, sometimes you got to let it go, man. He's way past his era. I'm waiting for him to retire, to be honest. I don't even like Top Rank, to keep it 100 with y'all.
Yo, bro, Top Rank got 3 fighters.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, Lomachenko, and Terrence Crawford.
Exactly.
And if those guys lose, it's over. He's over. So to name him, look at where he started, how long he's been doing it. Look at his position where he was and how it declines. It declines. It keeps
How is he declining when he's on ESPN? This is
you keep naming the network he's with. You know why he's with ESPN? ESPN used to have Friday night fights. Nobody used to watch Friday night fights. There's been a shift in the networks. HBO no longer puts on fights. Showtime boxing is dead, basically. So ESPN needed something. They couldn't get Matchroom fighters because they're with the Zone, right? They couldn't get Golden Boy fighters because they're with the Zone. So what was left? You had 2 people needing a dance partner. The last 2 people at the prom decided to dance with each other. Bravo.
Stop. Listen, this is why he's with ESPN. This is why HBO got out of boxing, because HBO knew boxing and they have boxing people. They saw all this money coming into the sport and they're like, you know what? This is too much. We're not going to get a return on our investment. So it doesn't make sense for us to be trying to match all these other networks. The reason why all these other networks got in is because with the rise of streaming, people are looking for live sports. People watch Netflix, they watch Hulu. There's no need for me to have, a cable package. Why am I even going to watch ESPN? So they're looking for live sports. That's why ESPN even got the UFC. They're trying to get more live sports. For this reason, Top Rank has been around for a long time. And you say, oh, they only got a couple fighters. Yet they still got a major streaming deal. Bob Arum, as much as I hated to see Wilder lost, Bob Arum saw that Fury could beat Wilder, and now he's marketing.
Bro, anybody who was objective saw that, but go ahead.
Fine. But at the same time, Bob Arum now is promoting a big name, a big guy who can move numbers. Bob Arum, this is the thing. Bob Arum might not be king forever, but he's gonna be a prince. You can live like a king for a day, or you can live like a prince forever. Top Rank and Bob Arum are not going anywhere for a long time. All these other guys, will just wait to see. Is Matchroom USA?
That's the death blow right there.
Is Matchroom USA?
Is Matchroom USA? That's the death blow.
Is Matchroom USA going to be around? Spending all this money, paying guys $5 million to fight, whatever. You know what I mean? Is PBC's blowing money? I love PBC. They pay guys really well, and I think they should. But they're blowing money. They're blowing mad money. They have a private equity firm that they're working with, blowing all their money. They haven't really seen a return. So Bob Arum sees all this, and he's like, look, at the end of the day, you have to get some sort of investment return, right? Is he wrong sometimes? Sure. But overall, Bob Arum.
Is he wrong sometimes? Sure. Like, yo, respectfully, bro.
Nobody's right 100% of the time.
Yo, you go on these rants of complex opinion. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm only asking for fact. You sit here going, and it's like, I just love debunking everything. So like, I'm not going to take the bait on this. Here's what I'll tell you. Right now, PBC has more fighters than Top Rank. PBC owns the welterweight division. The biggest star in the heavyweight division is with Matchroom. Matchroom has way more pay-per-view attractions than Bob Arum has. In fact, Bob Arum has one guy, and I wouldn't call him a pay-per-view attraction.
Pay-per-view in the UK?
Fury.
You mean pay-per-view in the UK? Because they're not pay-per-view in America.
That's what I'm saying. Tyson Fury, I won't call him a pay-per-view attraction. Lomachenko's not a pay-per-view star. And Terrence Crawford, come on, man. Those two failed pay-per-view attempts. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua's Matchroom, right? Then you got Triple G, and you got these guys. They're all with the Zone. I know that's not match, but you got the Zone. They got their fighters. You talking about ESPN? ESPN don't got one guy that's gonna move units. This is what I'm telling you. You can try to flip it into some magnificent deal that Bob Arum and ESPN has. But when it's all said and done, they were two people at the prom that had no one to dance with, so they had to get with each other. Now, like I'm saying to you, it don't matter. All this don't matter. You're mentioning Bob Arum as if because he still exists, he's a good businessman. And what I'm trying to tell you is the only reason he still exists is because he had some odd years head start. You have all those years.
That's flawed though. Bob King, Don King had a mad years head start, but he's non-existent in boxing today.
So then your argument is that Bob Arum's better than Don King.
Bob Arum's better than most promoters.
Everybody knows. You know what the problem is? Everybody was sowing Don King stuff, so willing to expose Don King and how bad his contracts was. Everyone was so willing to show how Don King took advantage of the fighters.
Look,
Bob Arum was able to be like, I'm not Don, and then it was easy for him to get other fighters.
I'm not a Bob Arum fan. I'm not going to cape for Bob Arum. Bob Arum has done some greasy things in boxing. I'm just saying, at the same time.
All I'm saying to you is this. If you're a business and you started years ahead of everyone else, that's years of collecting fighters, years of having a stable, years of developing contacts, years of speaking with networks, right? And then somehow you let the most lucrative fighter in boxing history buy himself out of a contract. And then not only does he buy himself out of a contract, he beats your cash cow that you've been touting around. Floyd beats Manny Pacquiao. Then you let Andy Ruiz go, and he goes and becomes heavyweight champion of the world. And then you look at his stable and all the guys he's letting go. And lastly, he got three guys. He's talking, he don't want Lomachenko to fight Devin Haney. Now he's saying, Tyson Fury don't need to fight Joshua. Let Pulev get a shot. You know why he want Pulev to get a shot and not Tyson Fury? He's trying to save his team. He's trying to save, because if Joshua beats Fury, it's over. It's over. He don't want TC to really fight these guys, because he's gonna do the TC like he did with Manny Pacquiao. He's gonna make TC fight all top ranked guys. So if TC loses, he still got the belt. Listen, man, this guy Bob Arum, you trying to make him seem like he's some great Houdini of boxing. If he was so great, he wouldn't be hanging on by a thread right now. He started way before everyone else, and he's in the back of the pack. Come on, man, stop.
He got the worst shows, bro. I'm sorry.
Thank you, dog.
Top rank is
at the back of the pack.
He's
got TC fighting Cal Velasquez. Now you got the number one pound for pound dude fighting Cal Velasquez.
It's called a mandatory. It's called a mandatory. That's how it happens.
Okay, it's called a mandatory, right?
Yeah, you know boxing, right? That's how it works. You have mandatories.
Bro, you keep asking me if I know boxing. Yeah. Do you read the comments? Do you read the comments? I don't see people saying that about me. But for you.
All those UK. Listen, UK people. Get out of here.
Yo.
Some people UK.
Anyway, we're going to move on.
Let's move on. Hold on, quick fact check. You said earlier that Larry Holmes won the title after he lost to Mike Tyson. He didn't. No, he did not.
He didn't beat Mercer and get the title?
Wasn't for a title. He beat Mercer, but wasn't for a title.
It wasn't for a title?
No, he lost to Evander Holyfield. He fought for the title against Holyfield and lost. But
it was probably one of those NBA,
the North American
intern something.
Just to make a 12-round fight, you know.
Yeah. Anyways,
which one thing I want to say about Bob that I do give him credit on. He brought us Oscar De La Hoya in Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look at what happened.
He brought him and lost him.
I see you, Troy.
He brought him and lost him.
Bob's been in some of the biggest fights in the last 40 years. You can't take that away from him.
Can't take it away from him.
I mean,
he's been involved. He's been involved in some big ones. but Bob done dropped the ball. But I'm not even going to give.
I'm saying. I'm like, at one time, he probably was a great promoter, but he's not that right now. That's all I was like, to make it seem like, because he still exists, he's good. No, it just means you started and you had such a, luxury of fighters and connects and everything that you've been able to survive in the game.
And them young interns at Top Rank told him to do the streaming thing. It was like, the zone's kicking your butt.
But I'll even say this. Like, Bob, his shows really do suck. At least with PPC and the zone, you at least have fun going to those events. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell that.
You mean like a live experience? Or?
Yeah, both. I think they actually tried. When you look at Top Rank, it's like, fighters that you don't even know. And you're like, damn, I got to sit through all of these no-name bums, bro. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, that's just, to me, it's horrible. It's just, they don't even promote it right. Like, everything about Top Rank is, like, low budget. Even if you notice the Top Rank logo in the ring, they tape it on. I'm like, bro, nobody notices that. Like, they put duct tape in the middle of the ring that says Top Rank. And I'm like, fam.
You gotta really save money, dog. That's how you stay in business.
I really can't just do it like PBC and what the zone does, just have it printed on there.
Bro, Top Rank is like this. What he said, but they didn't even want to do press conferences, and it was in their fighters' advantage to do the press conference. Like, come on, man. Like,
I'm sorry, man. Like, he's lucky he got those 3 fighters.
He's lucky. He signed Tyson Fury.
This is the thing. Boxing is always going to be the next guy. It's always going to be. There is no.
It ain't going to be Bob though. I know that. It ain't going to be Bob anymore.
Bob got 3 fighters. You know what? I'm going to give Bob 4. Because that Xander Zayas kid, if they move him right, he can be a star.
Which we know he's not.
But let me tell you this.
Doesn't he have Gavodzic in light heavyweight?
And Yusuf, right? He got Yusuf.
He don't got Usyk.
Nah, Usyk.
No, not Usyk. No.
He don't got Usyk.
Okay.
Smash him.
And even then, I still don't know much about Xander Zayas. I do know that, like, the way they're pushing him and the fact he started at 17 and he looks the part. Now, whether he is the part, I don't know, because Felix Verrejo looked the part.
He also has Inoue. When you say he has only 3 fighters, what do you mean, like top fighters or top?
I mean 3 guys stars who can potentially become pay-per-view stars. They're not stars yet.
How many guys can really be pay-per-view stars right now? Really, realistically.
But you need that to survive, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You need that
business
to
model.
survive.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation because I think that business model is probably it's still viable, but only on certain for marquee attractions. And that's why not every fight is pay-per-view. So it's not like who else is pay-per-view in. First off, in America, it's only PBC and Top Rank doing pay-per-views. DAZN doesn't do pay-per-views. So you can't say they're pay-per-view attractions.
They do pay-per-views in the UK, bro.
In the UK for $20 or whatever.
It don't matter.
Different.
You see what I'm saying? You can't.
It does matter when you have. It's a completely.
If you don't got DAZN, you want a Canelo fight.
You said what?
That's pay-per-view. If you don't got DAZN and you want to watch Canelo, that's pay-per-view.
For starters, right?
Sign up for DAZN.
For starters, bro. Let me just stop you. Pay-per-view means you pay to view the fight. Whether you paying a subscription or you pay for one fight,
so then everybody's a pay-per-view fighter.
Okay, so that's 1. 2. Okay, if you pay in the UK to see, you have to pay in the UK to see the UK fighters fight. You have to pay per view in the UK. So it's not like the only people who do pay-per-view is the United States. They do pay-per-view in the UK. And
there's actually pay-per-view all around the world.
People get bootlegged in the UK too. That's just for you wilder people who act
in Canada
who act like who count his bootlegs as a sale. But anyways, right? I don't even we done gone so far beyond
super tangent.
All right,
I don't know why I thought we can get this done before 10.
We could do it.
It's 10 already.
My bad's already
10. You know I was trying to watch The Last Dance.
Oh man.
Not Save the Last Dance. The Michael Jordan documentary Last Dance.
Hey, The Last Dance was a quality movie.
I'm not gonna lie, on the low, I watched it when I was younger. All right, we're gonna move on. Should Canelo fight Demetrius Andrade? Trill.
No. There's so many other.
Brother.
Do I really have to?
I don't think you need to, but it was
right.
a question that was posed, so I feel
right,
like
cool.
you should answer it.
All right. So no, this is Canelo. This is Canelo, the pound for pound #1 star in the sport. Canelo can do what he want to do. Okay, Canelo can fight who he want to fight. That's the position Canelo is, because Canelo's gonna bring him out. You know what I'm saying? That's Canelo. And Canelo is in the process of making money and putting on the bigger shows and what people want to see. All right. Now, do I want to see Demetrius Andre and Canelo get it on? Yeah, I'm a boxing fan. I love boxing. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that fight. Is it gonna bring an attraction to the casuals and to the people? Do people know who Boo Boo is? No, nobody know who Boo Boo is. Do they know who Triple G is? Yeah, they know who Triple G is. And people are more reluctant to come out for a person they don't know, and they know Triple G. And a lot of people still want to see that third fight. I don't want to see it, because I think it's going to be like the first 2 fights. I thought Canelo won the first 2 fights. Even though the first one was a draw, I still had Canelo winning. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Canelo's going to go with what's going to make the most money. And it's not going to be no money with Andre. There's going to be money with Canelo, and maybe if he goes across the pond and fight Callum Smith or something, but I don't see no fight with him and Andrade. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
All right. Complex.
Yeah, this is ridiculous to me. Like, of course he should fight him. And this is my beef with DAZN. And when people talk about DAZN and as a network and whatever, and Eddie Hearn as this whatever, Eddie Hearn has been promoting Boo Boo Andrade for a number of years now. He's gotten paid very well to fight nobodies, but he can't get him a big fight. He's begging to fight Charlo at PBC instead of in the same network. He can't get Boo Boo a fight against Triple G or against Canelo, 2 of the biggest names at middleweight. Once more, DAZN had all 4 belts at middleweight at one point. I believe Gennady had 1, Canelo had 2, and Boo Boo had the 4th one. You could have had an undisputed middleweight champion, which we haven't had since what? Bernard Hopkins, right? We could have had an undisputed middleweight champion. Somehow they let that slip through their hands. That's what I'm saying. DAZN doesn't have anybody running boxing. Eddie Hearn's just wasting their money. But in any event, Boo Boo, of course, deserves a fight. He's a world champion. Why is it that how can Canelo fight Billy Joe Saunders, who they were about to set him up with, but not Boo Boo? Where does that make any sense? Billy Joe Saunders had to give up the belt because he was caught with steroids. So, and then Boo Boo won the vacant
caught with steroids.
Or nasal spray or whatever.
He had a substance that wasn't steroids. The substance was known to help you cut weight. And he said it was.
Sounds like it's a banned substance to me. Sounds like a banned substance to me.
And it makes sense because Billy Joe Saunders has a country behind him.
Fine, but what about Liam Smith? Canelo fought him. I mean, look, that's what I'm saying.
No, didn't fight him.
He didn't fight him.
He didn't fight Callum Smith.
Liam Smith.
Oh, I thought you said Cullen. My bad.
Liam Smith. So this is my point: is that I hate when people try and pick and choose to be boxing businessmen and whatever. Boo Boo, fight him. If he's not that good, then go ahead and beat him. If you're gonna fight, I hate when people make arguments, especially not even just Canelo, but Triple G. Triple G is gonna fight some other dude, and he fought instead of fighting Boo Boo. If Boo Boo's dangerous, then just say he's dangerous, but then give him his props for that. Be like, look, he's a dangerous fighter, and I don't want to lose to him. That's what a lot of these guys are basically saying, but they're like, well, it doesn't make money, it doesn't make whatever, but I'm gonna fight this bum over here because that makes money. It doesn't make money. So you just want to keep winning and you want to keep fighting. If Boo Boo's in the same network as you, there's nothing hindering you. Fight him. He's another champion. Then you have a unified. Whoever wins becomes a unified champion. That's a good fight. I feel for Boo Boo. I've actually been to 2 of his fights, and because they're in the Boston area, and they were exciting fights. And the guy deserves it. He deserves it. Now Boo Boo's done some stupid things with his career as well. We won't get into that. But no, Canelo absolutely should fight Boo Boo or Gennady. If he's gonna be at 160.
G.
All right. Before I explain my theory on this, I will say this in Eddie Hearn's defense. It's not Eddie Hearn's fault that Canelo got rid of the WBC belt, you know. And remember, Canelo and Golden Boy have a separate deal than Eddie Hearn when it comes to the zone. So Eddie Hearn doesn't have authority over Canelo like that. That's one thing. But I will say this. Would I like to see Demetrius fight Canelo? Obviously. However, does it make sense as of right now? Technically, it doesn't. And so this is where I differ with Complex. If I was Demetrius, right, I have to believe if Canelo's going to stay in the middleweight division, he's going to run it back with Triple G for trilogy, right? So then that's actually works in his favor low-key. He needs to campaign to get a fight with Charlo. So that way they can have two champions. And then you could pitch undisputed. So that way now people will like to see, hey, you know what, Canelo, it's your opportunity to become undisputed in the middleweight division. So then people are like, all right, most likely Canelo will take that fight. As of right now, it's all risk, no reward. Although he has a belt. Yes,
he has a
belt. However, if you look at Canelo, he already told you he doesn't care about the belts.
Canelo don't need a belt.
Exactly. He's more about the accolades. Hence, that's why he give up the WBC. And what did the WBC do? Oh, here, take the franchise belt then.
Canelo's bigger than a belt. Canelo's bigger than a belt.
So then now I feel so bad for Boo Boo, right? Because it's like, yo, he's probably the most tricky fighter in that division. He's a southpaw. He fights different angles. Like he's a real difficult fighter. Do you risk it? You get what I'm saying? So then now,
but if you're that dude, if you are the man,
I agree. But you gotta look at it from this perspective. What will attract Canelo to fight you? And I think
what else does I don't mean to cut you off, G, but I was just going on with what you were saying. And what else does Canelo has to prove?
Exactly. No, if he's staying in the middle of the division, he should fight the champs. However, because if he's going to fight Triple G, I'm assuming he's fighting Triple G strictly for Triple G's belt, you know, because it's like nobody really wants to see that trilogy. But I do want to see that trilogy because both fights were close. You know what I mean? Those were some good fights. So I don't mind part 3, you know. And when you look at that, it's like, all right, 2 champions fighting to unify. Boo Boo needs to do the same thing with Charlo so that way he could demand undisputed. And that way Canelo will be like, all right, you know, it's worth it now because he's going for accolades. This is an accolade that he could accomplish right then and there. You could become undisputed. And I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to just say, hey, you know what, Eddie, get me a fight with them PBC boys. Let me go over there and get that WBC, bring it back here, and then say, hey, Canelo, let's make this happen.
Yo, this truthfully, I feel like I have to tell people, this wasn't I didn't even want to talk about this. To me, this is a joke. This is a joke. Demetrius Andrade, and I like him. I love his family. They're good people. But his career was in the toilet at one point. Eddie Hearn resurrected that man's career. So anyone disrespecting Eddie Hearn and what he's done for Demetrius Andrade, this is a joke. Demetrius Andrade's getting fights and he's getting paid. He was begging people for fights. He was literally showing up begging people for fights because his career was in the toilet. Eddie Hearn took the talented brother and resurrected his career, and now he's getting paid.
Made him champion. Made him champion.
Exactly, made him champion. And Eddie's like saying he sent offers to Charlo for a fight. So
has he sent offers to Canelo?
Bro.
Levels.
Bro, hold on. I'm rocking right now.
Offer to Triple G?
I'm rocking right now.
They're on the same level.
So he resurrected this man's career. So any disrespect to Eddie Hearn is unwarranted, unfounded, purely comical at this particular point in time for what he's done for Demetrius Andrade and his family. Now, when you talk about Canelo, you're talking about a man who beat Austin Trout, who beat Izandi Lara, who beat Sergey Kovalev, who beat Triple G, who beat Shane Mosley, who beat Miguel Cotto, and was in the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Tell me right now the most notable win on Demetrius Andrade's career, on his resume. Tell me, what's the most notable win Demetrius Andrade has on his entire resume?
I can't think of a big one.
Exactly. Here we go. The man lobbying, the very man lobbying for Canelo Alvarez that had to fight Demetrius Andrade. Can't name one big win, but wants to label him the boogeyman. How did he become the boogeyman? He beat nobody.
Nobody said he's a boogeyman, but I said, who was Liam Smith's biggest win?
Bro, Liam Smith. Liam Smith. Hold on. Like I was saying, Liam Smith had the country behind him.
No,
not only that, bro. You know what's funny?
He do. He got the UK behind him.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny to me, Trill? You know what's funny to me, G? When I said TC has to fight Kai Velasquez and that's a terrible fight, he says to me, you know what a mandatory is? Do you know boxing? Well, it's okay for TC to fight a bum, right? Now,
it's mandatory. It's not like he chose the guy.
Liam Smith was his mandatory.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
He had a belt,
he fought for Liam Smith's regular WBA belt at 168.
Okay, so you're knocking him for fighting the champion. So you're knocking him for
fight him. No, this is my point. If he could fight that guy, why can't he fight Boo Boo? It's undisputed and accurate.
Yo, why can't Boo Boo fight anybody with a name? You can't even name a guy he's beat.
He's trying. He wants to fight Triple G.
See, you know the difference?
They're on the same network. He wants to fight Charlo. He wants to fight these guys, but they don't want to fight him.
Here's the difference. You give people credit because they say they wanted to fight. And I give people credit for actually taking a fight.
You give people credit for ducking.
Your guy has beat nobody, bro.
It doesn't. As a matter of fact, you can't beat anybody if they won't fight you.
As a matter of fact,
they won't fight you, dog.
As a matter of fact,
it's not ducking. It's not ducking when you got options.
You got the same story for Wilder. You got the same story for Andrade. Man, you just cry me a river with that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they don't want to fight you. You're telling me Canelo Alvarez, the man who fought Floyd Mayweather, the man who fought Miguel Cotto, Kovalev, Triple G, all these guys don't want to fight him? Stop it, man. Yo, he's
why wouldn't
the
you fight him?
You can't name who doesn't have a big win.
Why wouldn't you want to fight him? Why wouldn't you want to fight him?
Triple G got big wins on his resume. Triple G been in the ring with Canelo. The only guy who ain't. And let me just say this. How about this? How about this for Andrade? How about Andrade get some names? How about Andrade get some names?
Let's make a circular argument that makes no sense. Go get a name. But when he calls out the names, oh, you don't have a name yet. What is it? Doesn't make any sense. That's why I hate this boxing BS, this boxing business BS. Well, you have nobody, but I'm going to go fight this other guy who hasn't fought anybody because I know he's an easy fight. But you who are a hard fight, I'm not going to fight you. Then when people ask me why, oh, well, you
how do you know Andrade's a hard fight? How do you know he's a hard fight? I don't know.
But
okay,
how do we find out?
All I know is that Andre ain't gonna bring them out. Andre, they're looking at it a different way.
You know why he's not? Because
they're looking at it a different way.
Yeah. Well, let me get back.
And then Canelo got options. There's so many options for Canelo to go and grab some money. He can grab some money in the UK. He can go grab some money with Triple G. He can even go and grab some other. There's options for him. He's going up and down and weight.
I love Canelo. Canelo's a G. So let me get back on the stick for a second. I've seen Demetrius Andrade fight several times as well. In fact, I was at the Andrade fight with Swirling G when he was supposed to fight Billy Joe Saunders, but Billy Joe Saunders couldn't fight because he tested positive for the substance that they said was in the nasal spray. Cool. What did they do? Bring in a weak opponent. No scrap at all. Shipped in a guy from Africa.
Walter comes to Cruz. Walter comes to Cruz and tough fighting.
He was a tough fighter.
He took them shots. He lasted all 12 rounds. I had to give it to dude. He took some.
Yeah, whatever. Yo, hold on. But this is what I will say, though, that it is outrageous to say Canelo is ducking Boo Boo. But it's fair to say Charlo is ducking Boo Boo because Charlo also is in the same predicament as Boo Boo. They need each other.
I would say that.
They need to negotiate something and make sure that fight happens because Canelo's not going to look at either of these guys. They both need each other. So just y'all two unify.
If they fight together, if they fight each other, maybe Canelo will give them a second look.
Hold on. I got, let me, so another thing. What's funny to me is Demetrius Andrade was about to fight Billy Joe Saunders at the Garden because I purchased tickets for that. That was a good fight when Andrade was about to fight him. But once Canelo's about to go fight him at 168, guys like Complex want to say it's a trash fight, right? But it was okay when Andrade was going to fight him, or when Canelo's going to fight him. It's then now all of a sudden it's a trash fight, right? This is what I mean about the double standards of boxing. This is what I mean. You got when you like a guy, when you like a guy, you turn the blind eye.
First off,
hold on, wait. So Billy Joe Saunders is undefeated champion at 168. And Canelo's about to go up and fight him. And you got a problem with that. Meanwhile, Billy Joe Saunders was about to be the best man Demetrius Andrade ever faced in the pros.
Until he popped. So congratulations, Billy Joe Saunders.
Here we go. All I know is your guy didn't fight him. Canelo was going to fight him.
No, see, this is what I love about you. He didn't fight him. Context matters. Facts matter. He tested positive. So how is Demetrius Andrade supposed to fight him? And my point is this. You can't say that, well, Demetrius Andrade hasn't beaten anybody, but Billy Joe Saunders, his biggest win is what? David Lemieux, what's that dude's name from Canada? Anyways, that's his biggest win, right? So why is it, and he's at 168. If I'm a middleweight champion, you're holding onto the belts and everybody has a chance to fight and become an undisputed champion. Why wouldn't you go for that? If he fights Billy Joe Saunders, it's not a terrible fight, but I'm saying that's no better a fight to me than Demetrius Andrade, who's right there at 160. He's got a belt.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Was Liam Smith a big fight?
More money.
Was it more money? Really?
Yes, it was
that
more
time
money.
with UK.
Yes, it was more money.
Oh, man,
Liam Smith was a nobody. WBA
with a country behind him.
He got a country.
With a country behind him.
Got a country behind him.
On this, I promise you, I want to rock with you. They're right, bro. Like, come on, son. Like, Boo Boo's just not known like that. He don't move units.
And what's more is I even want to beat up on Canelo.
Hold on. We like
Boo Boo.
I love Andrade, bro. This is what I'm saying. I like the dude.
For real.
I think the question is almost worded we only focus on Canelo and Boo Boo. For me personally, it's about everybody not wanting to fight Boo Boo. Is Boo Boo a world killer? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he could probably do well. But why won't you guys fight him? Charlo doesn't want to fight him. Triple G doesn't want to fight him.
Charlo should fight him.
I have the same disdain.
I agree. Charlo should fight him.
Yeah. Triple G should fight him as well. Why is Triple G all of a sudden not
Triple G shouldn't fight him.
I guess.
Triple G got bigger names, dog. Yo, listen.
Exactly. He had options.
Yo, listen, you got to understand, man.
I think Triple G has a mandatory, but who did he fight before that?
Derevianchenko.
Derevianchenko.
So he's a bigger name than Boo Boo?
Yeah, I mean, it's not about
headline. Listen. At least Boo Boo's headlining cards. Boo Boo's supposed to be a marquee fighter on DAZN. So this is why DAZN makes no sense. I'm promoting this guy as a world champion as a big. Listen,
bro. Here's what I'll give you. Derevianchenko was supposed to be an easy fight for Triple G, but it didn't play out that way. They were not looking for that type of fight for Triple G. Remember, Triple G's now with Jonathan Banks. He got a new trainer, so he's trying to get acclimated to that. He was supposed to be like, let's get acclimated to my style and these adjustments I'm trying to give you. Derevianchenko, to me, beat Triple G. I scored that fight for Derevianchenko. But one thing he definitely didn't want to be in was that type of fight with Demetrius Andrade, because it would have spoiled the party for the Canelo Triple G 3. What I'm trying to say to you is everything that Triple G's been doing was to try to get that third fight with Canelo. And what Canelo's been doing is saying, what can you offer me in terms of money and in terms of making history? Because he's no longer fighting for these belts, bro. He's bigger than the belts. He's bigger than the belts. I can tell you what, you can give undisputed to Andrade or to Charlo, and I guarantee you, if they fight Canelo, he's the A side and he's going to get the lion's share.
Agreed.
You don't need a belt, bro.
Agreed.
You don't need a belt.
That's not up for a dispute. But my point is this. The question was, should he fight him? And I say, yeah, why not?
Eventually, maybe.
But look, I just think Boo Boo is.
How about this? Complex, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Should he fight, or should Boo Boo fight Canelo now?
Yeah, why not?
All right. what if Canelo is trying to fight Triple G for the trilogy? You'll still be like, nah, he needs to
G
fight.
trying to help him.
No, if Triple G.
You feel me, Trill? I'm trying to.
No, I'm saying
trying to throw you the alley-oop.
They can.
We're trying to make you see the business sense of it.
Like,
yo, this
we
reminds me
get
of,
it. We get it.
This reminds me of that R. Kelly interview. When they were like, do you like
little young girls?
What's a little teenage girls?
What do you mean?
How old are we talking?
No, but this is my thing. They had ample opportunities to fight Boo Boo. Maybe not right now, but I'm saying is at one point, DAZN had all 4 belts. Instead of making that fight, they put on a lot of other goofy fights. What I'm saying is you guys are supposed to be, giving us all this value for our money. Put the big fights together. Boo Boo versus Triple G is a big fight. I don't know why that fight never happened. Because I agree, if you say Canelo's is going after, Canelo went to light heavyweight. I give him mad props for that. So I'm not saying that Canelo's necessarily afraid of anybody. I don't think
complex. Let me ask you a question.
But
let me think they signed Triple G
to make the third fight.
Oh, all right. As long as you know. All right. So
why is it Triple G
for them?
Who's a better fighter? Let me ask you.
Versus Boo Boo fight.
Let me ask you. Who's better?
That they'll make more money from a Triple G.
Who's a better fighter, Demetrius or Triple G?
I think Demetrius Andre is actually better than Triple G.
All right. So why don't we see the best?
My opinion. I don't know if for fact because
that wasn't the question. So let me just say this. If you ask me who would I pick, I'd pick Demetrius Andrade to beat Triple G. Especially after I seen the Revianchenko beat him. But if you're asking me, does it make more sense for Canelo to fight Andrade or Triple G next? It makes more sense for him to fight Triple G next.
Boo Boo deserves a fight. Boo Boo deserves a fight.
I agree.
Yeah, I respect it, yo. You a real fan, yo.
He's lobbying for Boo Boo.
He's
lobbying for Boo Boo.
I agree. Demetrius Andrade deserves a fight. Just not the Canelo fight.
yo, complex. All that energy you put in towards Canelo, you need to put that towards PBC and Charlo, bro. Do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, I don't. This is why I don't, because PBC and Charlo are on. They have their own deal and network and stuff, right? Do I want to see them fight? Of course, but you can't tell me that we're gonna focus on Charlo and another network and another everything instead of the guys who are on the same network who won't fight you. That seems crazy to me. If we're talking about DAZN has got all this money and all this stuff, why don't you just guys? We could have had undisputed. If we're talking about accolades, is it undisputed an accolade? He's a belt holder. Take it from him. If he's a bum, go take that off him. Now you're a unified champion.
Yo, here's
what
the
I
thing.
don't like. People
here's
trying.
The thing, right? I hear you, but at the same time, it's not like Andre's starving, bro. They're getting him fights. He's getting his money. Yo,
they're wasting DAZN's money. They sure are giving him $5 million to fight whoever.
Hey man, it is what it is.
Hey,
like I said,
let's see how long it lasts.
But the question is, should Canelo fight Andrade? That was the question that was posed to me. My answer is no, not right now. He got better options right now. At some point, if Demetrius Andrade elevates his status, because you're so focused on what Canelo's doing, Andrade could fight better fighters. Mm-hmm. You know what, Andrade, for all it's worth, and I like him, he's very powerful in that first round. Mm-hmm. But he never finishes the guy. If he would finish those guys in the first round when he drops them, everyone will want to see Canelo fight him. Mm-hmm. But what you miss is he drops these guys and then he goes 7 rounds of semi-entertaining fight. It's like, yo, this fight should have been over. We already know who's going to win at the end of the first round, but it's taking you so long to finish this guy. That's part of his problem. So, like, why don't you focus on him and what he's doing?
Go take that off him. So go take that belt off him. If he's just this whatever.
You don't need to, because you can't paid
he's
without
still active, bro. He's still active.
Triple G can't take that off him. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's
that's what you meant. Oh, my bad.
No, I'm saying a lot of fighters.
No, I don't think Triple G. I don't think Triple G can take that belt off him. No, I don't. And if you're Triple G, you don't risk the bag for fighting him, because it's high risk, low reward.
They
Also,
brought him in for Canelo, bro. They brought Triple G in for Canelo.
How many years have they been? This is how DAZN makes no sense. You've had these guys on your roster for how long now? You almost risked losing to Derevchenko, you guys are saying, right? and you still haven't made the Triple G.
He did lose to the Revianchenko. That's why they're making the fight next.
But they had this fight years ago. They could have made this fight years ago, but Canelo just does what he wants, and they pay him $30 million a fight to do whatever he wants.
He brings them out.
Hey, he deserves it.
Well, when you're the number one star in the sport, you do stuff like that.
Exactly. He paid his dues.
Yeah, but if I'm paying you $300 million over 10 fights or whatever, I gotta have some say so. Because we
hold on, but listen to what you just said. If I pay him $300 million, you as a person that invested that much money into that person, you're not gonna want to make the biggest fights possible. Exactly. I'm just being honest, man. You're not.
That's why I said Liam Smith was. Come on, son. I get it. He's definitely fought a murderer's row. I get it. Canelo's fought a murderer's row, but you can't tell me there weren't some fights in there that were like, all right, this was a bum fight. You just know.
Yo, bro. This is what I mean. Yo, what kind of standard are you holding Canelo to? Do you hold every fighter to that standard? Because I know one you don't.
Canelo fought Kovalev, bro.
Come on, man.
I feel it. But this is my thing. If you're gonna be a middleweight champion and the other middleweight champions right there, why not fight? It's my simple to me. It's really simple.
Let me ask you a question.
Because Canelo is not just a middleweight champion.
If Canelo ever fought a unification bout? Okay. Has he ever fought a unification bout?
Who?
Yeah,
Canelo.
Yes.
He's fought one in his career, at least one. Because you keep talking about, fight the other champions. I can name you a guy who's never fought another champion in his entire career.
Lack of trying? That's my point, dog. You guys missed the whole point.
Missed the boat. Because you hold people.
Yo, we got it, yo. Complex is making a principal argument. Championship fight champions.
It's a principality of the matter. Don't give me boxing.
Only certain champions should fight other champions, though, in complex argument. Because he don't hold that same heat for other fighters.
All right.
You know what I mean?
So Wilder flying over to UK and Chase is running after Joshua for years.
We're gonna end this like this. Canelo could do what he want to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He paid to do.
Oh, this is another reason why boxing don't make sense. And for people who don't know, I'm a combat sports fan. I watch everything. I watch MMA, kickboxing, boxing. The thing about boxing, which I kind of hate, is that people make these, I can make, I'm negotiating to make more money here or there, or I'm not going to. I just want to see the best. I just want to see good fights. I don't really care too much. Honestly, I don't get paid from these guys. I don't get a red cent. I don't care how much Wilder makes. I love Wilder. I ain't getting paid. I call Wilder to help me for my mortgage. He's going to be like, who are you? So I don't really care at the end of the day. I just want to see the best fight the best. And I hate these arguments. No, I could do this. Or why would I take the risk? It's like, guys, if you're the man, be the man. You have to fight the challengers. That's it. Me. Simple. Simple as that.
That was cute, but it's not true. Because when I was like, yo, make the fight, they did jumping jacks when Wilder wasn't going to fight, when he turned down the DAZN deal. Oh, he could get more money than that. He should go after more money. Now he's saying, I don't care what money they get, as long as you make the fights happen. Man, stop it. And G's laughing because he knows it's true. Like, come on, man.
Hey, Wilder, man. We live when we learn.
First off, Wilder's offered with AJ fights like a deal.
I just love to see this transformation in you. I just love it. I love to see that.
I want to see the fights. When the DAZN
offered that same energy.
Look,
you know what's funny? I know when Kane is gonna do this. Like once, Complex is talking, I'm like, Complex, don't say that.
Yo, cause you see how he don't hold the same energy in his logic changes.
He walking right into it.
Yeah, right.
He walked right into it.
Can I respond or not?
Yo, look at them train tracks. Let me just lay down. You know what I mean?
You UK fans, man. I can't stand y'all, dog. Man, UK boxing something else, dog. Anyways.
Yo, you got the last word on this complex. We gotta move on. Go ahead. You got the last word.
I'm not going to get into the weeds of the Wilder Joshua because that's a whole nother hour conversation. I want to see the best fights. And my thing is also my main other point, which I feel like was missed, was I think DAZN doesn't really have anybody running their boxing business that knows what they're doing. And that's why they're losing so much money. They're paying top dollar for a lot of fights, but they can't provide all these fights. And they don't release numbers, but a lot of insiders in the boxing industry have been saying DAZN's bleeding money, and they keep paying all these fighters. Matchroom Eddie Hearn's got to go after guys like Demetrius, who wasn't really around because Demetrius is the only one who could sign. Who else could he sign? He sent all emails to everybody in the industry trying to sign them, and people are turning them down. So because they look at it, they're like, this DAZN thing, is this going to be around a long time, long-term play? I don't know. But in any event, this is my thing. I would love to see Boo Boo. I would love to see an undisputed fight at middleweight. They had the opportunity. They lost it. They can maybe get still big fights. I just don't like this whole, no, I'm not going to fight him because, he's too risky. It's not worth the money. It's like, come on, if you're going to beat him, then go beat him. That's it.
I can respect that. All right. We're going to move on. Gervonta Davis posted a picture on Instagram hinting at a fight between him and Leo Santa Cruz on Showtime pay-per-view. My first question is, 1, do you want to see that fight? And 2, will you pay to see that fight? Since you want the best fight complex, tell me, you want to see that fight and will you pay to see that fight?
I think it's a decent fight. I don't think Gervonta is going to make 130. I don't feel like he's going to make it. I think if he does, I think he's better than Santa Cruz. And I think the only way it becomes a kind of a fair, closer fight is if it's at 130. But what I feel like
it says at 130, yeah, it will be at 130.
Yeah, but I think what he's gonna do is come in like kind of overweight, like at 134, and be like, all right, look, I can't make it, and then they're gonna negotiate, cut some money or whatever to Leo, and be like, all right, let's have the fight. It's a good fight. I mean, I like it personally. Like I said, I mean, I want to see the biggest fights. I'd love to see Gervonta versus Lomachenko. That would be, I think, an even bigger fight. But look, I think it's a good fight. I'm not mad at it. I'd watch it. I mean, I go to G's house and watch it. I'll toss in $10 for the pay-per-view or whatever. It's not something I would be like at home. I wouldn't be at home like, I want to watch this fight. It's cool. It's definitely a good fight. And I think Leo Santa Cruz has done a lot in the sport. So I give him respect. I think Gervonta is an amazing talent. But, yeah, it's a good fight. But I would rather see Lomachenko fight.
All right, G.
Complex stole my answer because I'm thinking exactly like him on this one. It is a good fight, Am I like, whoa, I got to see this fight? Not necessarily, but I am willing to pay for this fight if I know Tank's very next fight will be Lomachenko, because that's the one I really want to see. This one is like, yeah, it's cool. It's a good fight. He's leveling up on competition. But I need to see Tank versus Lomachenko, man. We got to get that popping, So, but yeah, I watched the fight, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't order that fight. I'll probably go to Cage's crib for that one.
We go to your house.
$10. I'll pay for everybody's food or something. And if they charge $70, was it like $75 or $80? Hell to the no. You know what I'm saying? I barely like these little brothers like that. You know what I'm saying? So, listen,
watch your mouth, G. Watch your mouth.
I'm joking, Trill. It's all fun and games. I'm just a little serious. Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna let Trill go. For me, like I can't watch every 130-pound fight. Because some of these fighters, it don't even look like their punches hurt. It just look like they're throwing 1,000 punches in there, and no one comes out with a black eye.
Phil was about to lose it.
Yeah,
Phil about to be like,
so like, I'm just being real, man. Some of these fights, I done told Trill this since the beginning. And key word is some, because Gervonta Tank Davis is one of those little guys. When he hits, I know it hurts. And so I like seeing him fight. So the fact that Gervonta Davis is involved in this fight, I would want to see it. But the problem is he's fighting Leo Santa Cruz. And I don't think there's a chance in hell Leo beats Gervonta Davis. He don't hit hard enough. So I expect Gervonta to walk right through him and knock him out. If Leo beats him, it's going to be on points like everything else Leo does. Which I don't see it happen. I see Gervonta stopping him at some point or knocking him out cold. So, will I pay for that? I pay for Lomachenko versus Gervonta Davis. We're gonna have to figure out where we watching it.
We go to Trail spot. We go to Trail spot.
Yeah. We're gonna go to Trails on this one. That's where we're gonna have to go. We have to go to Trails because I'm not. I got 10 on it.
Yeah, in fact, I got 10 on it too. That's the most I go.
I got 10 on it in a Yoo-hoo. All right, Trill, what you?
I can't stand you guys. I don't even know why y'all got me on here with you guys. Put some respect on these guys' name. Put some respect on Leo Santa Cruz's name, okay? All right, Leo Santa Cruz, 2-time world champ, 3-time world champion, maybe 4-time world champion. I'm bugging. Leo Santa Cruz is the man. And Leo Santa Cruz been calling out Tank for a long time, and he wanted him at 130. And, you know, be careful what you ask for, because now you got it. Can Tank make 130? I'm excited to see if he can. I want to know if Tank can fight going backwards. Could he handle the volume of Leo Santa Cruz? Because, you know, Leo Santa Cruz going to go in there and throw like 500 punches around. You know what I'm saying?
Until he get punched once, and then he'll stop punching and get knocked out.
Can Tank throw a punch going back? Let's see. I want to see that. Let's see what happens. I'm excited to see this fight. If anybody knows and been watching Boxing Bros, where people talk about all these other fights that say, yeah, and Lomachenko, I say, you know what? I think he's going to fight Leo first. He's going to fight Leo first. And listen, if I'm not Cleo, you know what I'm saying? Because they might start calling me Cleo because I predicted this. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to call you Cleo. They're going to start calling you Cleophas. That's what they
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Y'all can come watch the fight at my crib because I'm excited. I'm definitely watching this, and I'm excited to see what's on the undercard because I know they're going to probably have my man Greer on there. He another little guy. They're going to probably have him with his pillow coming out putting people to sleep.
You know what that means?
Bring out all the little guys. Bring out all the little guys. Bring out all the little guys. I'm excited. My heart is pumping for this fight. I know that I'm going to be jumping up the whole time. I'm excited to see this fight. I'm excited to see these guys getting in. I'm excited to see Leo Santa Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Fight. I'm excited to see Tank fight. You know what I'm saying? When Tank get past this, do I want to see him fight Lomachenko? Of course I want to see him fight Lomachenko. But we ain't going to get that fight no time soon. You know what I'm saying? So if we can't get no lobsters, let's just settle for some shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Dude, that's how I feel.
And that's what we're going to get, 2 shrimp.
We're going to need it on the big screen. They're going to be so little. We got to be like,
hey,
get the projector up. Put it on the projector. We got to see. Trill's a real one. Trill's a real one. That's why Trill's a real boxing fan, because Trill likes any weight class. He just likes the sweet science.
Listen, listen. I was just the other day, I was just thinking about the 9th round between Ontario Gotti and Mickey Ward. I was just talking about that 9th round in that fight, how beautiful that was. Almost brought tears to my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I love boxing. I don't love the boxers. I love the sport of boxing.
Don't compare Gotti and Ward though to Leo. They got punching power. They got punching power, man. And you know, we was at the Ricky Hatton versus Luis Collazo fight.
Yeah, we was at that fight.
It was at the Garden in Boston.
Yeah.
And Mickey Ward walked right by us, and we were just like,
shout out to Mickey Ward. Yeah, we took some pictures with Mickey Ward.
Cool cat, yo, Mickey Ward, man. Shout out to Mickey.
He was real down to earth. Shout out to Mickey Ward.
Yeah,
so but yeah, I'm excited to see that fight.
All right, so Adrian Broner is feuding with Al Heyman again. He's on Instagram saying if he don't get $10 million, it's gonna be some smoke. So I mean, I don't know at this point. What are your thoughts on AB in this whole situation? I'm gonna let you go, Trill, man. Get it off your chest, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Proceed.
AB in this situation is right. People take AB too literal. Take him too serious. When they was like, "Oh, he's broke," they took him too serious. AB is like the master of this is the young generation, right? The young generation, you know what they do now? They do the trolling. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these kids do to get people talking. And AB is the master troller of boxing. You know what I'm saying? He knows what's going to get people talking. He knows what's going to get people stirred up. And you're only not hip. to the culture of what's going on around right now if you don't know what he's doing. He's making a buzz. He's making people talk. That's what AB always do. You know what I'm saying? Do I agree with everything that AB does? No, I don't agree with everything AB does. But we know that AB, to get to where he's gotten, these are the things that he has done. There's a plenty of other ABs in the gym across the nation. But this is what made AB AB. You know what I'm saying? So what do I think? I think he's coming back, but he wants to be paid. He wants to be compensated. You know what I'm saying? And he's calling out Al. He's been calling out Al. He's been saying, I don't want to get into it, you know what I'm saying? But there's been other interviews where he said, did favors and did this, that, and the third, and other stuff behind closed doors. Does he got a personal beef with him? I don't know. But this is what AB does, you know what I'm saying? I'm willing to take any questions. Does anybody got any questions?
I don't have any questions. Anybody? G, you have an opinion on this?
Pretty much what Trill's saying is AB is the Tekashi 6ix9ine of the boxing world. So
basically,
he just trolls to troll. Got you.
He had beef with Tekashi too, and then he came out to Tekashi.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he learned from the best, you know.
Complex.
Look, I feel like AB is like a working girl who finally realized she's been getting played this whole time because Al Hammond's been pimping AB out. Ooh, he been putting AB out on the stroll, and I hate to say it because just like taking a quick look at AB's career, AB peaked after beating Paulo Malignaggi, got whooped by Marcos Maidana, got whooped by Sean Porter, got whooped by Mikey Garcia, got whooped by Manny Pacquiao. He just gets pulled out whenever Al Hammond needs somebody to make them relevant. He make them fight AB. Oh, yeah, AB will come and sell the fight, and rightfully so. AB is a good salesman, but AB's his career's been all over the place. Part his fault, of course, but also I don't know if he's been moved the right way. You can tell AB gets frustrated when he's kind of low on money because he starts lashing out at everybody. He lashed out at Leonard Ellaby last time when he fought Jesse Vargas, like, y'all ain't with me. And he always goes through these episodes or he's like, I'm going to end it all. And then I was just playing. Nah, you know what I mean? He's doing all this stuff. I mean, look,
I'm going to end it all if y'all don't pay for my mortgage.
Right. Yeah, basically. And this man's got like 6 kids at the age of like 26. He's young, or he had like 6 kids at the age of like 26 or something. So I think his dad had like 10 kids. So anyways, look, he's got a lot of bills to pay. AB needs the money. And it's kind of sad because AB at one time had the hype behind him to be possibly the next Floyd Mayweather. I think if a couple things happened, one, he was trained a little bit, or if he trained a little bit better and harder, put in the work like Floyd does, he could have maybe reached those kind of heights and he wouldn't be crying for money. It's really sad that AB's been in all these big fights and he's crying for money. I don't know what he's done or whatever. I think the Manny Pacquiao fight, Al Hammond held some of it for him, something like that, like in a trust, because maybe he won't get it till like years later on some, Allen Iverson stuff. But look, AB's just AB's looking for money, dog. That's why he's lashing out. It's the same old thing. Al Hammond's gonna shut him up, toss him a few G's, toss him a couple of dollars just to shut up his holler. And AB is gonna come back and do the PBC thing and fight the next guy that they want to build a name off of. Probably they want to rebuild Keith Thurman. I think they're gonna do that. Keith Thurman's got a big one. Let's bring him back.
Well, I can see that.
Hold on, Hoya Complex. Are you telling me AB is now graduated to a gatekeeper?
Yo, listen, I'm not, and you know what? I'm not mad at that.
Say it ain't so.
No, you know what? And I'm not. Listen, you got to think about AB. We got to think about AB. You got to think about somebody who's accomplished so much in the sport of boxing so early. We talk about 4-time world champion in 4 different weight classes. And you got to talk about he stepped up in weight to fight these bigger guys. Like you said, Al put him in there for the taking against these bigger guys. This AB is 135 pounder. He was fighting these guys at 147 and beyond. I get it. You know what I'm saying? That Marcus Maidana fight, that should have never happened. He should have went right back down after fighting Paulo Malignaggi. He should have seen that he wasn't right for that weight. When he had struggled with Paulo Malignaggi at 147, he should have went back down a weight. He had bad team around him, put yes men in his ear, telling him that he can beat a Marcos Maidana who was much bigger than him. But AB showed so much heart in that fight. And if he was somebody else who fought that fight and he wasn't AB, we'll be applauding him. Because AB, who was knocked down and embarrassed in that fight, he still came back on in that fight and was about to knock Marcos Maidana out, but when the time ran out. You know what I'm saying? And if it was any other fighter who came back from that adversity and fought with that heart, we would have been praising him. But since AB is who AB is and some of the things that he has done, you know what I'm saying? People use this moment to kick him down and stomp him down. And I think that's why we haven't seen the best out of AB since, because he gets that shell shock that, look, I done gave my all, and then when I gave my all in this fight, even though I lost, look how people treated me. We have applauded Paulie Malignaggi for getting a broken cheekbone when he fought Miguel Cotto. That's when Paulie Malignaggi really busted on the scene for having so much heart. And AB showed that same heart. You know what I'm saying? So I think with AB being a gatekeeper, I don't even think that that's a bad thing. I think AB, he peaked so early that we all expected more for him, but bad business decisions, what happened with a lot of boxers in the past, it prohibited that. Can AB get back on track? I wish he would. I wish he would. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Sorry about my rant on AB.
I mean, it's to be expected. I don't know how you get over AB. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I have no feelings for AB. I mean, to me, I don't know if he's joking about needing money, but I never seen anybody give their actual cash app asking people for money. And there's all types of athletes in the world. There's all types of trolls in the world. I don't know AB's bank account. I don't know what his income situation is. So I'm not going to speak on it. But I know he really did ask fans for money. I know that. He's upset with Al Heyman about money. And I think Complex touched on something. Well, Allen Iverson, an American basketball player, in his career, people were worried that the way he was living, he would end up broke. So they invested some of his money in an annuity. And now every year he gets money. He gets like a few million every year based off the money that was invested in an annuity. AB talks like he feels like Al Heyman owes him money. And maybe Al Heyman did the same thing that someone did for Allen Iverson for Adrian Broner. But the thing is, it takes a while for you to develop that interest and to get the return on that investment. But the way Adrian Broner throws money away in Mike, it was weird because when Adrian Broner was coming up and he was saying like about billions, he was like throwing money like he was Floyd, but he didn't have money like Floyd.
That was all about bullshit.
And it was like, my man, you do realize you can't do what Floyd's doing. Jay-Z offered him a contract.
He was just trying to fake it till we make it.
No, but he faked it and never made it.
That's what he invited Jay to his private parts. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was stupid. Like I said, I don't agree with everything he did.
Yeah,
I can't hear what you said, G. What you say?
Oh, no, I was saying that was the time when he invited Jay-Z to his private parts, when Jay-Z's trying to do business with him.
Jay-Z offered him a decent deal where he would have made about $5 million a fight. And he told Jay-Z, basically like G said, he invited him to his private parts. That's what he told Jay-Z. So this is the type of person that we're talking about. And so for me, it's hard to feel sorry for him when he had all types of opportunities and he squandered them. And so now here he is. I mean, he sounded like someone who needs money to me. You better give me $10 million. AB, why would someone give you $10 million? You haven't won a fight in a long time.
That's why I said it got to be a troll.
I don't know, bro. Here's what I think. If you want to fight AB, get in shape. Get in the best shape you've been in a long time. Say, Al, I'm here to build up one of your guys. Who you want me to build up? Thurman? I'll build up Thurman. But this time, get in the ring and win. Get in the ring and win. That's how you'll shake up the world. That's how you'll stop all this. Win a fight, a meaningful fight. That's how you'll put an end to all this.
He had those opportunities, though. If he beat Manny Pacquiao, he was going to Sizzler. He was going to the big times. He was going to get probably a Floyd Mayweather fight if he had beat Manny Pacquiao.
He fought on pay-per-view before all these other cats did.
This is who.
Listen, that's like I said about you agreeing with you with saying maybe he's a journeyman. I think
he ain't a journeyman. He a gatekeeper.
Excuse me, gatekeeper. Excuse me. What I say about that is, I think we seen the best of AB. You know what I'm saying? I think we seen the best of AB. He peaked so early. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nobody to lose sight of the things that he did so early in his career, how spectacular he was. You know what I'm saying? And then I think he peaked so he accomplished things that other fighters haven't. You know what I'm saying? So, and also with a lot of things that he did, AB was young when he came on the scene. Look, if you blame me for the things that I did at 24 and judge me on them now, then you wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation with me, because I was the worst. You know what I'm saying? So I think some of the things that he did, he was learning in front of the cameras. You know what I'm saying? He was learning in front of the cameras. He didn't have the right people around him, especially when you have money, you making money, and you taking care of grown men who gonna tell you no and what not to say and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? AB could be a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? He definitely could be a cautionary.
He can definitely be a cautionary tale. But just like you said about you at 24, there are people at 24 who make the right decisions. Mm-hmm. So like you gotta hold people. You make your bed, you lie in it. Mm-hmm. So whatever you do, you have to own up to it. And like for me, like to me, I think 24 is old enough to make better decisions than the ones he made.
To me, AB is the new AB.
I wouldn't make his decisions, by the way.
I know you wouldn't. That's why I don't understand why you're personalizing it. But go ahead. You wouldn't have told someone offering you $40 million to come meet my private parts.
$44 million for 5 fights? Oh, no. Especially home.
Can we make it 60?
And I'm dropping my album on rock.
Exactly. 60 million in a record deal, and we can do this.
No, I want to say AB is the new AB. The other AB I'm talking about is Andre Berto. Andre Berto at a time was almost the man.
You're talking about G's countrymen.
I know. Shout out to all the Zoes, but AB Andre Berto did the same thing. He looked like he was hot, riding on the street. Talking about maybe fighting Floyd. Then he got Victor Ortiz. And then Victor Ortiz ended up going on to fight Floyd. And it started to seem like all you got to do to fight Floyd is beat up Andre Berto.
I was at that fight, too. That was a hell of a fight.
The first one? The first Ortiz?
The first one. That was a hell of a fight.
It was a great fight. And they're different. I'm not going to say AB is the same as Andre Berto. Andre Berto had a lot of heart. And AB has heart as well. But it's kind of funny. They almost fight the same way. They're trying to emulate Floyd, use the kind of shoulder roll, but they can't do it as well, and they always get caught with overhand rights.
It seemed like Berto did that later on because Berto didn't start off doing that.
Yeah, he did. He did start doing that later.
Yeah, but you still see both of them doing a poor man's Floyd essentially. But anyways, Andre Berto it just started to become the whooping boy. Freaking Victor Ortiz, Robert Guerrero. Soto Carras, which was a sad fight because he tore his shoulder or something. And then he finally got the Floyd Mayweather fight. It was like, hey, thank you for all your service taking these fights. So Adrian Broner might get a fight against Floyd. Maybe Floyd's going to be like, look, man, Al's going to throw him a ball and look, Floyd, he's done a lot for us. You know what I mean? Let's throw him one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe, AB can get a fight against Floyd, if Floyd comes out and wants to get a warm up or something. I'm
gonna say this.
You know what? You just sold me. You sold me, Complex.
I would.
Nah. AB versus AB. Adrian Broner versus Andre Berto. Let's get it.
Who's gonna that's the battle of who's gonna self-destruct first. Who's
the king of the gatekeeper?
AB versus AB, the atomic bomb. You know what That's what it is.
They're both gonna try to find a way to lose.
AB started being horrible once he started thinking that he was Floyd and started trying to fight like Floyd.
I think AB was best when he came forward and let his hands go. You know what I'm saying? Instead of people started getting in his head like, oh, you can box and make it easier and be like Floyd. You're not Floyd. You know what I'm saying? You was better when you was coming forward and letting your hands go. That's how you was catching people in the middle of exchanges and everything, going to the body, ripping shots, letting your hands go. You're best off getting with a person like Freddie Roach. If you can't get Freddie Roach, go to my brothers down in Oxnard, California. They done beat you up before, twice. You know what I'm saying? The Garcias, Robert Garcia.
Roberto Garcia, he know Adrian Broner's number. He be looking at Adrian Broner like.
For real. Go to them guys. Those are the guys that can fix you and bring you back to where you used to be. Because this boxing shoulder, that's not you. That's where guys have been beating you up on. You thinking you Floyd. You ain't Floyd. You know what I'm saying? You never been Floyd. Floyd that comes around once in a million. You know what I'm saying? And that was his problem. He idolized this guy, you know what I'm saying, so much. How
do you idolize a guy? You get to be around the guy, and you don't do anything that he does. You don't train like him. You don't work like him. You don't do anything that he does.
Malik Scott. That's who he got. He's Malik Scott, okay? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But at least Malik Scott is a glorified sparring partner, at least at this level.
No, and that's where AB has turned into.
Malik Scott got a fans only at a decent price where people can pay to see premium content. Go ahead.
And listen, and in AB's last couple fights, that's what he looked like, a glorified sparring partner.
But the trouble with AB is he's fighting at the wrong weight class. The reason why he looked like a killer at 135 is because he was bigger than the other guys and he was able to knock them out. He can't do that. The power doesn't carry up to 147. If AB was different, he would still be at either 135 or
140.
140 would fit him. Yeah. And right now, he could probably pick up a belt at 140. He could be a champion.
He definitely could pick up a belt at 140 and become five-time world champion.
But that's on discipline. He's got to do that. I mean, no disrespect to him. He is a 4-time world champion, a 4 weight class champion. You got to give that to him.
Hey, you know what? I got to fight for AB and then just go away.
Okay.
AB, this person needs you badly. Or as my president would say, bigly. He needs you bigly. You can help this person out and you can get paid. And you probably should get 50-50. Fight Terrence Crawford. Fight Terrence Crawford. People would actually want to see that fight. You can help him build his pay-per-view profile. And you could probably get 50-50 with him because you done did better on pay-per-view than he has. And you get a chance to come up if you can beat him. I don't think you're going to beat him.
But
hey.
But I agree with you, but before that fight happens, he has a bigger fight than that. He has a bigger fight. With all serious, he has a bigger fight than that. And that's with the man in the mirror himself.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's always been his problem.
Yeah.
It's always been his problem.
I'm gonna end it with that on AB. He has to face his number one person that's been against him the whole time. And that's
he's whooping his own ass too. I'm telling you right now.
He whooping his ass too. He definitely he looking like Floyd versus Gotti in there. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man, that's it, man. I ain't got nothing left, man. We out.
Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and also check out this podcast on all major streaming services. This is the Boxing Bros. Thank you for rocking with us, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
We been defending like we're gonna fight ya.